also do this real quick as well. Hold up. There we go. Alright, so hopefully this should be fine, I think. Should be Gucci. I hope. Guess we'll find out. Oh, okay. Get bowl loaded up, all that fun shit. And see what little adventures happen here. See how the YouTube shorts work for today. Or for tonight, I should say. It's not day anymore. Unless it's daytime for some other folks. Well, I guess we'll see what happens. Doggo. You just look back at me. It's like, the fuck you... It's like, what are you doing? It's like, what are you doing to me? And all I'm doing is just giving booty speeches. He just chills and does his own thing. Being the sweet little thing that he is. Alright. Man, this tray's got a little bulk. I kind of need a new tray. They need to make like thin silicone trays to where you can kind of like fold up like these coffee lid trays, you know, like Folgers and shit, like those big cans where they got like a lid. I use those because I like to kind of like bend them in so all the weight goes back to the center and shit. It's like, bruh, they need some shit like that. Frankly, they should make like, you know, a tray that is like actually like kind of slightly like a bowl in itself. So if you tap on it or something, then it all just goes into the center. I mean, that'd be kind of dope, honestly. I'm sure trays like that exist, you know, like just, maybe I can even be like, you know, to some fucking like, you know, dude that has like silicone or something, should be like, oi, make a tray that, you know, it's got a little concave like a bowl or like a plate almost, and make it so it's flexible so I can bend it around to my whims. Free Lucci. Oh boy, the short, it's in the shorts algorithm now. Free Lucci, free Young Thug Slat. I have fucking a clue of who Lucci is. Young Thug, though, I'm slightly familiar with, but I am not. I have no knowledge of anything about that culture. At least when it comes to that music culture and that music scene and shit. I mean, I will, like, you know, flip up some music from, you know, like, some Lil Nas X or some shit, or some, you know, whatever, fuck. Stuff like that, but not often. I kind of have to be, like, in the mood for it. Definitely in the mood of getting another bowl loaded, ready to go. Get that going, because, Jesus Christ, I am ready to be decompressed from work. Frankly, I'm, like, having this, like, weird back of my mind feeling about that fucking place right now. Because my store director has been oddly in our department a lot the last few days. And it's been frankly, a little off-putting. Not too sure how I feel about it. Yeah, I should also do this too. Make sure it's on all messages. There we go. Hey, doggo. You sweet thing, you. You got some stuff in your fur here, bud. Here, let me get that out. Yeah. Oh, no. It's like you're a little chafed here. Does someone need a brushing? I think I'll get you a brushing tonight. Oh, you just love the booty scritches. Yes, you do. Goofy little dog. You just love the booty scritches. Yes, you do. You just love the scritches. You silly dog, you. Oh, great. Now he wants some more attention. I don't have snacks for you, dog. I just was giving you scritches because you're a boy that loves the scritches. Is that the intention you want? You just want the scritches? I guess so. He's just laying his head in my hand while I scratch his chin. And his little flabs on his little chin. It's so cute. You just a big goof. No. I don't got nothing for you, bro. I mean, I could give you a hand. I could give you a paw. Wop, wop. Yeah, I could give you a paw, but that's all I could give you, bro. I have nothing for you. You wouldn't even take a little glop of burr at the bar the other night. Because you're a straight edge little freak. You're a little anarchist until you don't want to be because you're a Puritan at the same time. You're one of those like Puritan anarchists. Where they think like, things like weed, alcohol, tobacco, all that shit is like, a capitalistic sin upon, people and shit, and they live like weird straight edge lives. They're like pretty much kind of like the hippy dippy type of anarchists that like go the extra level. I mean, maybe weed is like an exception because it comes from the earth kind of thing, but there's a few of them that are pretty hardcore about that. I've run into a few of those type of people before, and luckily not that often, but I say luckily because they suddenly just start weirdly acting conservative-ish when it comes to that type of shit. But, I mean, they at least take the libertarian approach of like, well, you do you, but, you're poisoning your body with like, the system with its, vices and shit and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, bro, so are you, you know what I mean? It's like, these motherfuckers ain't, innocent of this shit either, It's kind of like a weird box where it's like, you live in the system, but you want to critique it, yet you participate in it. It's like, yeah, we all do. You're not special just because, like, you take, like, an extra level approach where you minimalize it. I mean, because that's all you can do is minimalize it. It's kind of like, how, like, vegans are and shit sometimes. It's like, oh, I don't eat meat or any animal products because it doesn't, or use animal products because, I don't contribute to, like an element of the institutions and system and shit. It's like, well, even if you aren't indirectly, you still are because of other aspects of our, economy and shit, It's like, it's just one of those things where you ain't exactly going to be able to, like, totally divorce yourself from that. Now that Zukov knows that I don't have anything for him, he just like fucked off into the laundry room like a goofball. What a goofy little string bang that he is. You know, also here, actually, I forgot to do another thing real quick now that I just thought about it. Do this really quick, yo. All right, come on. Pull the thing up. There we go. Kill. Oh, also, yeah, I just realized I forgot another thing. There we go. Cool. There we go. Coolios. I was gonna wait for this match to turn out. They're gonna be fucking weird about it. Oh, no, there it goes. It just says swoop. Swoop. So I love about like, you know, being able to send messages via notifications. I don't have to like actually pop out of this, you know, in order to do that at least. There's certain things that I gotta do. I'm just like, oh shit, I forgot that or something. So, you know, I have to like, you know, pop out for a second. But at least it just keeps going as soon as I come back. So that's all that matters. And I definitely want to hope to at least get like a, you know, my at least more original style setup going again, so we can do like screen shares and shit like that. Because it's still a little bunk as fuck that this phone's like OS doesn't, it just does not work for a lick of a shit when it comes to like Streamlabs and shit. I mean, there might be a way, but it's like it's the problem is that like for some reason if I play something in the background, it's like it's pretty much playing directly from my fucking phone speaker, even if it's through the Bluetooth. But at least doing these, it's for this, so it's like, you know, it actually goes for that. So I don't know. It's like I'm just gonna get the other setup getting going again and shit, because it's ridiculous. Though, to be honest, like, I mean, I am actually kind of curiously enough, I've actually been enjoying these shorts because, you know, there has been people popping in, you know, being like, oh shit, it's randoms. But I've been enjoying it because, like, you know, it adds for a little interesting extra, you know, curve to the conversation sometimes. Been exiled from the bed for being a twitchy man. Well, I was trying to hit you up, so now here I am. But apparently you're all being sleepy. But hey, now you're woken up because you've been exiled. So hello. I'm gonna kind of experiment a little bit with the algorithm, and kind of do these for a little bit. I've pulled a Paul, and I'm doing verticals. Because honestly, like I said, it's been kind of honestly garnering a little more attention than usual when it comes to streaming. So, you know, at least for now, like at least in the meantime, I'll just kind of do these maybe as a way to kind of like, you know, grab a little bit more of an audience, and then once I get kind of like a better setup going, then hey, I'll nabbed a few people doing shit like this, so that works. But at the same time, I gotta deal with some skibbities. More likely to have to deal with skibbities, but I do these late at night enough to where I think all the skibbities will be asleep. And I'm on the West Coast, so all the skibbities in America are pretty much, you know, either going to bed or already in bed and sound asleep. Perfect for me. I would just have to deal with the skibbities in other countries. Like, you know, some 14-year-old from like India, you know, that got out of school or some shit, you know what I mean, or whatever. Or the Europeans that are just starting to wake up and all that shit. So, you know, still got to deal with that. So, it is what it is, though. I haven't had 6 hours of sleep in the last couple days. I mean, from at least what I could tell, it seems like you've been sleeping, you know, pretty nice and dandy. But I'm also just assuming you've been obviously preoccupied, you know, hanging out with your girlfriend and shit like that. So, I mean, you know, like I just kind of figured, you know, you just been like, you know, more focused of, you know, shit in your own personal life, doing your own thing. And that includes sleeping too. So, but I guess Honestly, I mean, I don't know if it would help, but next time you get paid or next time you all go to a grocery store, grab like a thing of melatonin. Like, one, like a small bottle of like, melatonin pills or some shit. Try that. Because honestly, when I have a hard time, getting some decent sleep and shit, I'll like, pop one, or two of those bad boys, like 30 minutes before I go to bed. And it helps, honestly. It definitely is, like a useful thing, this is like to kind of help remedy. Those are bad for you though. I mean, if you take them regularly, I mean, if you're having like, a rough sleeping period, having those, maybe once or twice, like, in a week, like, like for a day or two, just to try to kind of like get yourself sleeping a little bit, better, then and they're not that bad. Because I mean, I still have a bottle of melatonin that I've had for like 2 fucking years. And it's a smaller bottle too, and I'm only halfway through it because yeah, every now and then I have a rough time trying to go to sleep, so I'll pop one or two of those before I'm like, or while I'm trying to go to sleep, and it helps. I don't do it all the time. It, like, honestly, I haven't really had to. That's why I've had them for like 2 fucking years. So I mean, like, I don't really get a lot of times where I need to take them lately, at least. I mean, there's like, at this point, I might take one or two like once, you know, like like every like 3 or 4 months at this point. I mean, sometimes I feel like I probably should, like, if I'm like 3 in the morning, talking and hanging with the homeboys and hanging out with friends and shit or whatever. I feel like I probably should for that, just so I can like purposely be like, hey, I'm starting to crash. I need to go to bed, because of the melatonin kicking in. So, it's one of those things where maybe I could take them every now and then a little more frequently, but honestly, keep gassing myself. What are y'all gassy? Get some more fiber in you. Rice for carbs and for like fibers type of shenanigans is good shit. It's good for you and it's good for your gut. So next time you have like some like some good old Asian food or whatever, like Panda Express, get some rice and like an extra helping of it too if you can get it, because rice is so good for you. Even in a fast food place like like Panda Express or some shit. I mean, it's kind of hard to make fried rice even really unhealthy. I mean, a lot of that basically would pretty much have to do with like the oil, that is used to fry it, or stir fry it and shit. Like, there's a few things that can make it less healthy, but all in all, like, it's kind of hard to make rice unhealthy. You know what I mean? But there's also like a million different ways to make rice so goddamn delicious. And sometimes there's ways to do that, but unfortunately, it takes like a negation to its healthy aspect. But if you got some like chicken fried rice with a little bit of onion, a little bit of celery, a little bit of like some diced up like peppers in there, some shit, a couple other things, like, I mean, top tier shit right there, bro. And the best thing is, like, I mean, it's simple shit and also pretty cheap as fuck. I mean, at least if you're making it at home. Like, if you bought the ingredients, straight up and then, like, brought it home to make it, it is legit cheap as shit. Like, you get a gigantic fucking bag of rice for, like, $5 or some shit. Like, at least at my store, like, for a big bag. I mean, so, like, just getting big bulk of rice is not really, a bad idea. In fact, honestly, a lot of times it could go a long way. Honestly, for me in a pinch, dude, getting some rice, made up and shit, straight up, has been a lifesaver sometimes. I'm just like, fuck. Got a big old thing of rice. I'm like, all right, gonna get this shit prepped because I have nothing better to eat. But at least I got like, a little celery. I got like, one sausage, but I have no bun for it. So I'll cook that up, dice that up a little bit, make myself a nice little fried rice little sausage thing or some shit, you know what I mean? And put a little egg in there, put 2 eggs in there maybe. some shit like that. I mean, and that shit right there, fire as fuck, and it's easy and cheap, and it's not even hard to make at all. I mean, just like put some fucking rice in some water, let it soak up, do its thing. Drain that shit and put some butter in there a little bit. Put get a little stir fry going, get it all like ready to go in that way, and then just add the ingredients as you start cooking it up. I mean, obviously, you want to take the rice out of the initial pot that you're cooking it from, but once you switch it around a little bit, bruh. I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, if you got like even the most like simplistic style of cooking, like crunching up a little ramen, putting it in a pot, and there you go. That it's pretty much that easy. I mean, the extra shit, is if you want to be a little more technical with it. But even then, all you have to do is just like dice some of that shit up and then just dump it in there and just let it cook with it. I mean, even then, you don't even have to do much. It's just like, cut it up a little bit and just dump that shit right in there. Season it up as needed. Simple. Oh, but if you want to do some, like, good shit, though, if you want to do, like, some fire-ass shit, though, if you want to do something that's, like, spankin'-dankin', scrumptious-dilly-umptious, you get a little broth. Get a little broth going, like some chicken broth, some beef broth, whatever, veggie broth even. Get a little of that going. Make some gumbo, bro. Dude. Like, and all you have to do is just like get it, get the pot, a separate pot, bigger pot, obviously. Dump all the rice in there. Get the broth going in that bitch. Dump all the rice in there, and then just start adding ingredients as needed. Boom. It's, instead of doing stir fry, you just make gumbo. If you want a little Cajun with that, give me shooting for the moon for that shit. Ooh, doggies. They're going to want to add a little bit of mud bug in there now. Get a little indulge sauce in there. Onion, get on garlic. Get all the good fixes in there. I tell you what now, boy. I'm just getting fucking hungry thinking about it right now, to be honest. I need to stop. Low-key need to stop on my head because holy shit, like, just thinking about that low-key is kind of fire as fuck. Man. Like, I'm a sucker for cooking. Like, I love, cooking shit up. I mean, frankly, I'd do it way more often myself if I just had time for it. It's like, because I don't really have that much time available to do shit like that. But, that's kind of why I want to at least, maybe like work at like, as a cook at a bar, maybe. I know it's a little bit of a different ball game, compared to what I do, but I think I honestly would enjoy it way more. Because then I have an opportunity to do more of that kind of cooking I want to do. It should at least get paid for it. And depending on the establishment, I can even get tips out of it. So, honestly, I might just do that type of shit. But I don't know. I'm just gonna play it by ear in the immediate short term, but at least on my off time, I am definitely putting like, like getting some of my ducks in order lined up. Fuck out of that. At least when I can, because oh my god, I'm getting sick of it. I was actually kind of skull-butted with some of my coworkers tonight, talking about the store director and shit. And talking about like some of these write-ups, suspensions and shit that have been going on. And he was kind of saying, it's like, well, I kind of like her because she at least like will help in the departments and stuff like that and blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, yeah. I mean, and honestly, I think a lot of her doing that is being cutthroat. She's a new store director, stuff like that. And, I was telling him about that. And he was like, yeah. And for me, I was saying, it's like, and honestly, I think because the last store director let us get away with a lot of shit, to be honest. I mean, the adjustment and especially being nitpicked on every tiny little thing, is getting, not just really frankly on my nerves, but I think on a lot of other people's nerves. And there's kind of an animosity about it. Like, it's because It's a like her, but holy shit, she makes it fucking hard. And frankly, I find this weird, like hanging out in my department doing backstock and all this other shit. Like, I mean, I like it, but I just kind of have a weird feeling that this is kind of a way of watching us. You know what I mean? It's like, because I never trust the friendliness of a fucking manager, especially when they're in our department the way they are, especially the way she is. I don't trust that shit. Like, and today I actually overslept pretty significantly. Like, I woke up at like 2:40 and I was like, oh fuck, I have to go in at 3. Well, I need to wake the fuck up right now and get my ass going. And I did. And honestly, I was like, you know what? I'm going to ride my bike up there. Because it was like 3:03. And I know she lets us have a 6-minute grace period, even though it used to be 15 minutes for literally years. And as far as I'm aware, even other stores, because I visited Safeway Seaside with Scott Button with the deli over there. And I asked, like, hey, what's like, you know, do y'all have like a 15-minute grace period if you all happen to maybe be late and stuff? They're like, yeah, none of us ever late, you know, and shit, you know, for the most part, unless something happens. But yeah, that's pretty much true. I'm like, so, and also, what about breaks and lunches? Like, do y'all, you know, like sometimes take longer breaks than you're supposed to or something? They're like, yeah, kind of. You know, but we keep it, you know, limited, you know, blah, blah, blah. And I asked about the store director and all that, and they're just like, well, yeah, like, you know, everything's laid back and chill. And frankly, maybe it's just because the seaside, and it's, you know, either like tourists and people visiting that are visiting the store and shit, or locals that they already know, kind of shit like that. And, you know, so there's a laid back vibe there. And maybe that's just like, you know, because it's seaside again, but like I said, but it's just like, why is the routine of like how it was at my store suddenly now fucking different in comparison to that store, and frankly other stores even in the same broader company district that we're all in? It's like, why is suddenly everything all so fucking different? And like with this whole merger that's going on, and like with, you know, a lot of the strikes, you know, that happen for Myra at the moment, and with you know, a lot of these stores, including mine, that are likely going to be closed down due to the merger, it's fucking fishy as shit. There's like a weird sense of like, I think, trying to clean house a little bit with some of the people that have been there for a while, like me. And I think there's also a sense of like, even if we get people temporarily here, they'll just like abide by the rules because the rules are what they already are to them, you know, being trained on it. While people like me, you know, are kind of being shoved out, you know, as a way to eventually just, you know, close the store down if the merger is successful. And that's an if. It likely is probably going to happen, but I mean, it's one of those things where it probably won't, but it's an if. And I don't want it to happen because then I'm fucked out of a job either way. And then, you know, it just, all it does is stabilizes, you know, the fucking region economically. Like, that would make my little neighborhood a fucking food desert. Like, this is the only store within like a 2-mile radius of like of anywhere. Like, at this point, people would have to go like, you know, into Portland, you know, to go get their fucking groceries, which is, we literally like border Portland for the most part, but still, it's just like, now they have to go into a completely different fucking place to get their shit, travel longer, use more gas, which now they're spending more money on gas and shit. And now they can't get out of our store because now that gas station ain't going to be a thing anymore. So it just fucks, you know, the whole area. Like, I ain't going to do anyone any fucking favors. But, oh, it's going to be a good thing and help bolster the economy. We're like bolster the fucking shareholders and shit that, you know, get, you know, to fucking rape everyone, you know, including their consumers too, and their workers, and the fucking communities that, you know, happen to rely on their fucking, you know, business being there because they're fucking grocery stores, because, you know, everyone needs their daily fucking bread. So fucking ridiculous. It's like, I mean, these antitrust laws need to come back as so fucking strong of a force and make your head spin, dude, because holy shit. Like, it's getting to a point where it doesn't even make sense anymore. Outside of just, you know, making some shareholder, you know, a little bit more of an extra big fat ass fucking cat. Like that's about it. Like, and at this point, even back in the Gilded Age, they try to at least make it make sense, to like justify that shit. Now at this point, there isn't even really an excuse or a justification for it anymore, outside of just to make their fucking asses, richer, while we get more miserable and fucking stretching our finances even more thinner just for our fucking basic bread, let alone having to go to work and shit like that or anything else. It's fucking ridiculous. And then you got like the fucking housing market too, on top of that. Where it's just like fucking unattainable in any fucking metric for most people. I was even actually kind of bringing back to work a little bit again, like scuttlebutt with another coworker of mine, and he was telling me, it's like, man, I just want to be like, at a point where, if I can at least, have my own house by, 30, I'll just be happy. He's at that point. I'm just like, man, it's like, I kind of hope that this, real estate housing bubble crashes then, because then a lot of these fucking real estate companies and these fucking Zillow, Airbnb wannabe landlord, pseudo wannabe neo-feudalistic barons and shit, get fucked. And then, at least gives us an opportunity as, blue collar people to fucking have that potential again. Like a lot of people my age, I mean, not me as much, because my parents, grew up in an era where they could afford a place. So that's where I'm at now. So even if I don't necessarily want to stay here, I can at least sell this place and use that fucking money and then some to fucking, at least at the minimal, have a down payment to buy something else. I'm way more secure, when it comes to that fucking shit. But a lot of people my age and younger aren't. And even then, it would benefit me this shitload if that shit popped. Like, sold this place, just kind of, rented for a little bit, wait for shit to pop. Then once it popped, and fucking, buy another place that, is more suitable to what I want. I mean, it's a possibility. And honestly, it is kind of, at least, in the family, kind of an open idea to maybe sell the place potentially. And I wouldn't necessarily be against it. I'd either want to completely refurbish the shit out of this fucking place, or do enough refurbishing to at least make it, worthy of being sold. And actually, in that situation, which will include at least some retrofitting, but, it could be like, somewhat like a semi-fixer-upper for somebody. But the thing is, I'm going to make sure my say is that we're not selling it to a fucking company. We're selling it to people that actually want a place. An actual fucking person. Not like some manager of some real estate agency or whatever the fuck. Fuck that. I guess, maybe have one just to, officialize everything and all that shit. But when it comes down to it, it's just like, I don't want like, this property owned by like some fucking, agency or some shit. I want it like, if it's being sold, I want it to be sold to like a fucking, someone want to raise a family, have a little fixer upper to, make it theirs in long term. I mean, at least that's my thought on it. But, hey, it's just, I'm just one little voice in it, so, I mean, maybe that won't happen, but I mean, I'm going to at least, assert the authority of that and be like, hey, I don't really feel comfortable about that shit a little bit, to be honest. But a lot of it's just my own personal proclivities anyway, because frankly, fuck these landlords. I mean, because in a weird way, I could, like, rent somewhere, and retrofit the fuck out of this place and rent it out. But it's just like, and actually be like, I guess in my own right, a land baron. But it's like, I mean, I would not, I would treat it as sense like, hey, as long as you just mind keeping a sense of just like, don't literally destroy the place, then I don't, whatever. Just hit me up if something happens, like if something breaks or some shit. And I'll either get somebody out there, or, I'll pay one of my friends to go out there with me, and we'll figure what that is, get what needs to be done. kind of shit. It's like, but like, because at least then, I'm at least gonna like treat it with a fucking sense of humanity and ethic. But even then, I don't even know if I want to do that. I guess the closest I could think about getting to that is maybe kind of like the rent to own thing, which I suppose would be a mortgage at that point, just someone paying off a mortgage over time. Just like auto payment shit or whatever the fuck. And once they pay it off, then it's theirs. So maybe that. I mean, that'll probably be the closest I get to it, be like, hey, if you want to own it, but you got like a fat fucking down payment and willing to like, rent until you own it, fine by me. Like, because at least then, they're still going to own it. They just have to kind of like, just sit on it. But honestly, at that point, I think that would at least even be way more of a way to be mendable and workable too, because now it's not inherently tied to like, just, oh, you're renting it. Now it's tied to like, you're going to own it. It's just like, like how long or like how short of a time do you want to pay off like, the mortgage of like, eventually owning the whole place, kind of thing. It's just instead of tying it to a bank, it's like directly from person to person, or, to like some real estate agent or whatever. Because I just I got so many problems and qualms of how, especially the current system is about that type of shit, that I'd rather just be like mono kind of thing. Especially when like, where it seemed like for like the longest time, it kind of was that for a while. Like, that's kind of how we got this fucking property. Like, I mean, it used to be a park, owned by the city, but then someone bought it, just as their own, little property. It's just undeveloped land after a while. And we eventually bought it and got the house built up, from there. So it's just like, it's one of those things where, it's, there was like that, actual fucking sense of mobility, at a point. And by the way, this all happened in the late 90s. When, with having a property bought and the house built up and shit. Like, I mean, when I was born, I spent like the first like couple months of my fucking life at the house next door in like the little basement area, because like that's like its own separate living space in itself. And, we're just living there, rented that out for a little bit, wait just until the house is done. That was it. That's history from there. It's kind of funny. I don't know if my neighbors next door that are living there now, I don't know if they know that. Like, because I mean, we've talked to, shit. I'm acquainted with them, and their dog has snuck into my front yard before too, and they got the silliest name for the dog. Her name is Chicken. Their golden retriever lab mix is straight up named Chicken. I'm just like, oh my god. Honestly, that's so dumb, but it's adorably dumb, and I love it. I'm not even saying dumb in a bad way. It's just so adorably dumb, and it's so cute, and I love it. But Sukov's doing the same thing, but like, hanging out at their place a little bit. So whatever. Sukov does the same shit. So I don't care. I mean, he's just like, if anything, when that happened, he was just like, oh my god, can I hang out with her? Can you play with me? Hang out with us. And she wanted to, but they were about to go on the walk and all that. So they, were like, oh, come on, chicken, get back here, kind of thing. And I'm just like, oh my god. I honestly wonder who named her. Like, who in that relationship named her? Because, like, it's, again, I can't get over it. It's so silly. But, but like I'm saying, I've had my, talks with him, hung out with him and shit like that. And I don't think that's ever came up. I don't know if I've ever told him that, me and my family were living in that house, at least in the basement area for a while, well before, this house is being built and all that shit where we live now. So it's, It'd be kind of, next time I, happen to chat with them, maybe I'll bring that up as a story. If it at least contextually, has an opportunity to be brought up. Because it's got, like, I mean, I bet they would, I kind of wonder what it looks like down there. Because, I mean, I was so young that I never knew what the fuck it looked like down there. And I haven't been in that house ever since I was fucking born, and obviously I ain't gonna remember shit of it. So I'm kind of wondering what it ever looked like down there. Maybe if they ever happen to have like a kickback with some of their friends, have some beers, stuff like that, they happen to see that have a day off or some shit and chilling. Maybe I'll be like, hey, y'all, y'all got a spare? I got one. I got a brewski, one hang. Because, I mean, it's kind of one thing I kind of wish that, like, it was more of a common thing, is that, like, in my little neighborhood, like, there's still, like, a sense of community around here. And when you hear, like, other people, whether online or, like, from people that have, either visiting or moved, from, like, out of state, shit like that, I mean, especially when it comes to online experiences from other people, it's like this whole sense of like kind of people know each other at the minimal, being acquainted with their neighbors, and to the point where it's like you see each other like, hey, what's up, and have a quick little small talk or whatever the fuck. Like, I hear so often how that shit is basically just fucking dead. And honestly, it's one of those things where I think it just fucking sucks that is the case for a lot of places in America. Because, I mean, at least around here, like, they're, as niche and I think, like, as isolated as it is to a degree, it's still around. It's still there to an extent. And and the very little that is there, at least for me, I cherish the shit out of that, to be frank. I mean, even since, we got these new sidewalks with the new infrastructure around here, like, some of the neighbors actually will leave like little buckets of chalk and stuff, and let people walk them by, doodle and shit. And I've done it too. I'll doodle stuff. So I mean, like, there's such a sense of community around here where people just like leave things like that out. Like, I also started the trend of sticking stickers on poles up and down the fucking road up here too, because ever since I stuck in a few punk show stickers or a few punk band stickers and shit, there's been a fuckload of them that have just sprung since. I'm just like, oh my god, look what I've done. Oh, hardy har har. I see what you're doing there. Yeah, happy birthday to your friend, Mr. Gurr. Yeah, I know what you're doing. I see what you're fucking doing there, buddy. Luckily, I'm a little high right now. I'm a little stoned, or else I'd just be like, fuck off. But I saw what you're doing there. I'm in a little good mood right now. You caught me in a good mood, so whatever. You get the one pass. That's the only pass you're getting, though. In fact, I think that's going to be the pass for the entire chat. So, you know what? Anyone else who does it gets fucked. But you know what? You get it for now. You got me? Yeah, well, dude, I've been around the block. It's like the ligma jokes, but that's the racist version of it. Like, I see one when, like, when I see it, I know it. You know what I mean? Like, I can find them pretty quick. It took me like that. I was like, can you say it? I was about to fucking just read it out loud, but then I was like, wait a minute. Because it spaced down the gur part, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait a minute, y'all. That one there's a whole of a different color. What are you drinking? Voodoo Ranger? And what the fuck am I chiefing on? Frosted Flakes. I got those frosted Rice Krispie treats and the Frosted Flakes, dude. It's if like Tony the Tiger, decided to make a strain for himself and got stoned. It said, they're high. Instead of being great. Oh, they're great. Oh. Nice. Imagine just Tony Tiger just chiefing up and be like, oh, oh, there. Oh, this joint. Oh, it's great. Oh. During Labor Day weekend with a vibe. Well, yeah, I'm working Labor Day weekend too. And Labor Day. But hey, at least I get a weekend after that. But also, I held up. I'm glad that at least, a lot of the Fred Meyer workers, are on strike right now too. Because it happens to be in tandem with Labor Day too. And new seasons around here also are on strike now officially. So I'm going to see if I tomorrow, well, maybe not tomorrow, but at least Tuesday I can swing around and maybe visit some of these strikes. Because, I mean, there's some of these stores are right around the corner from me too. So, I mean, it's like, hey, if it's my weekend, fuck it, I'll check them out. Because I know at least the Fred Meyer strikes are going to be going on until Wednesday. So I got plenty of time to at least check those out. Because, I mean, I kind of have a history of doing that. Back when the UAW was on a strike nationally, there was a little regional or local strike that was going on here with the UAW, at least up in Beaverton, because I don't live there, but there's a way to, make a pilgrimage out there. And, I went out there at least 3 times and streamed one of them at one point. And then the next couple times I went with my friends. And because there's also a bar called the Catholic Lou out there that makes, oh my God, the fucking amazingest, tremendous, bestest of fucking gumbo, bro. At least in the PNW. Like, for a PNW Cajun style, like, gumbo, it was legit pretty fire as fuck. I had a couple beers, had some gumbo, and checked out the strike line and stuff. And I think one of my other friends, Tyler, he got, a picket sign himself to keep. Because, I mean, they don't care if you take those. I mean, they got like thousands of them. They don't give a shit. If anything, honestly, in a way, they encourage it. So if you go back home, I mean, you're walking with it, as you're walking back home. So you're still kind of representing the strike and shit as you're going back home a little bit when you're walking around with that. So, I mean, either way, it's just one of those things where, like they kind of encourage that shit. I mean, I would. Like if someone, were to grab like, those generic signs, if like my, company went on strike with my union and shit, which my union is on strike with Fred Meyer's, but I don't work there. So it's a little different. But, if it happened to be my store, I would encourage people to take one and, bring it back home to the folks or whatever, just have if they want, or to like walk around with, or, maybe make it as a little yard sign or something. Because, I mean, you could make these into yard signs. And well, isn't the little IG to the NAR? Damn right, it is good, Rose. It's kind of funny. I woke up pretty fucking salty today because I was doing a little Instagram, little video live with Venom earlier on my lunch break. And honestly, I was just straight fucking salty. And honestly, I had a little bit of a reason, to be salty because one of my closers tonight, I mean, initially I was kind of like, you fuck, like, why did you, take 2 breaks when I haven't even had one, kind of thing. But, whatever. I don't think he realized and I don't think he noticed. But, when I finally went on lunch, my other closer, took a 10-minute break, which, whatever. And then my other coworker and the other closer took his lunch. And then when he came back, that same guy went on his lunch. And I was just like, I was about to take mine because I haven't had a break yet. And it's been 2.5 hours, since I've been there and shit, doing my thing. So I was thinking, hey, you go on your lunch when I come back, kind of thing. But he just kind of just kind of dipped off. I think he said he was going, to the other closer, and but never said anything to me. I was, because if he said something to me, I was like, hey, is it all right if you at least, because I haven't taken a 10 or 30, but I was just going to get my lunch out of the way. You mind if you just, wait and take a lunch and come back? And I would say if he's like, if he wanted to be like, well, I'm kind of hungry, blah, blah, whatever, then I want to be like, okay, well, I'll just take a 10. I would have been amenable to it, but it's like, it just didn't say anything. So I was a little salty. Honestly, I was kind of tempted to be like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to go on my lunch and clock out, come back and be like, hey, can you check me out with this real quick? And if he said, if my coworker goes like, wait, what? He went on his lunch. I was like, well, then I would have been like, well, he never said anything to me. And, but honestly, I'm kind of glad I didn't, because, I didn't want to fuck him over, honestly. So it was, honestly, at the end of the day, it's whatever. Like, I mean, I had a little moment of assault, but it's just because I hadn't really had a coffee yet today. And then, had a chance to chill a little. So I had a little salt. There was a little salt, being thrown around a little. But, hey, came back, whatever, it was fine. And we all made it work. In fact, honestly, I was kind of sitting on my ass for a while just because it was like, we were done pretty fucking early by the time it ended. When it comes to closing up and all said and done and shit. Because they're harping on our ass to like be done by 10 and and all and like, well, not be done by 10, but at least stay until 10. And I get so fucking annoyed by it, because like, if we're done and we got nothing else to do besides just sit with a thumb in our ass just hanging out or whatever for like 20 minutes, then why not just clock off? We're done. You know what I mean? It's like, at that point, there's not a reason for us to stay. I mean, I just don't get that shit. Like, because they also get at you for, being on overtime too as well, because you don't want to, excess use of overtime, on their fucking like little fiscal quarterly, record reports and bullshit. So it's like, what the fuck do you want? Do you want us to like, let you find them like some balance throughout the day to like have everything perfectly done by 10 or some shit, or what? It's so fucking weird, bro. I don't get it. Outside of making a bunch of other fat cats, with these bonuses, richer, and yet we don't get anything out of it. Curious. Sometimes I think I'm tagging ignorant to me posts. Nah. Do it more. I mean, because low key, I mean, Ignar is kind of a unique little name. I mean, who's out there calling themselves Ignar on the fucking internet outside of like some obscure fucking Icelandic guy or some shit, you know what I mean? Like, yeah, you might got like some obscure like Icelandic dude just doing his thing on Reddit or some shit. But beyond that, it's me, bro. I kind of, had at least enough of a creative like vibe to be like, to really at least like exceptionally stand out.
When the big bosses come by to inspect, their job is to find problems. If they don't find problems, they lose their job. Even if you almost...
I know that. Oh, I know about that shit way too well.
They have to find something wrong, otherwise...
And honestly, like, but like, our store director's like adopted that premise, and she's a store director, so it's like every fucking day. Like, even my, department manager got written up the other day and was crying to me and my other coworker Skittle, like, about it, and was distraught about it because, if she's written up, pretty much our entire department is written up by proxy, because of that shit. Like, she pretty much wrote the department up, because of some food safety failure bullshit, even though it's like, it really ain't even her fault. And also, it's not even like it was over some serious shit, like, just raw chicken being left out, like, in the front counter or whatever. It's not something serious shit. It's like just straight nitpicking kind of shit where it's like, oh, there's no problems, but let me find one for you, kind of bullshit.
That's her job.
That shouldn't be. Like, she's a store director, it's like that shouldn't be her job. Like, her job should be like making sure that, like, production's, what it is and stuff. Make sure, like, any issues that are being at the department, get them addressed. If there's a work order, make sure it's, followed up with, stuff like that. Like, I mean, I know what it's. I mean, at least on a broad general idea of what a store director is supposed to do, and yeah, she does that, but she is so like, but she also has weirdly adopted that fucking thing you were mentioning. And it's like, why you incorporate that in your job? Like, that's your fucking district, dork fuck's job, that harps on your ass. It's like, I mean, that's not supposed to be. It's oh my god, I don't know, I don't even know. I'm just done with the place. I'm just.
If it's not their job to find problems, little minor things should be overlooked. But if there's something major, they should say something. And personally, I say something to the person first.
Well, yeah.
This is a problem. If they keep doing it, then it's like I'm going to have to.
I don't say anything.
Up, and then if it happens again the third time, you get written up.
Well, I mean, like for me, it's just like I'll at least help my coworkers out, be like, hey, make sure you just kind of mind your breaks and stuff like that. Because I mean, some of my other coworkers will take pretty long breaks, and if I have to try to mind my BCQs and with shit like this, then I want them to, because I don't want them getting fucked. I'll pull them side about it, and obviously not to be a dick, but it's like, hey, if they're still doing it, I try to help, but I can't save you because, I'm, your fellow coworker. Like, I'm not like a, even our own department manager can't save you shit like that. Like, so it's like, just be careful. It's one of those things where it's like, I try to look out for them because I want to be careful about shit like that. Because, I mean, I get it. I would rather take like a 40-ish minute lunch because, I mean, that ain't a big fucking deal in the first place. And at the end of the day, we still get our fucking job done, and it's like any other fucking day. Like this weird harpy, like, on our ass bullshit doesn't make a difference on how the outcome of the fucking place works and how it ends up being as a result. Like, it literally is no different outside of like worrying if you're gonna get pulled in the office because you took like 5 minutes over your lunch break or some shit.
Yeah, I get a hassle. Just like, you're taking lunch at the wrong time, and just.
That's just absurd and retarded. That dog shit.
So instead of like walking all the way across to the other side of the huge ass place, set my stuff down, and then walk all the way back, take my lunch, and go all the way back again. I'll just take my lunch down, and then I could go all the way over there and start working. I gotta hit the bathroom.
Did you see my latest post? I don't think I did yet, but he made some pumpkin bread. Ooh, that sounds delicious. When I yell at my kids, you damn ignore. I said I granted the pass to I guess letter R. I gave it to him. Are you trying to insinuate something? Are you trying to insinuate a little bit of a thing? Got my eye on you. I like how his name is also I See You Dog. Nah, just messing. Well, I'm still kind of in a good mood anyway. I might be venting about work, but I'm still in a good mood because I'm off the clock now. Now we're just chilling. Sending now. Well, if you want me to look at it now, then there will be like a little circle for a second, for me to check it out. But I'll let Rose, give the word for that, I guess. Do it. All right. Well, y'all give me like 30 seconds because I'm probably going to just like have a moment of bliss looking at this pumpkin bread they just sent me. Actually, you could probably send it in, you got a mod ship. You can send links. Let them see it too. And I'll look at it myself really quick while we're doing that. So here, where is it? All right, there it is. All right. I'll trust Rose to send the same link, to all y'all so you can look at it too really quick. Because I guarantee it's going to be banging because I want to see. Bruh. It's beautiful. Dude, it's got like a nice, like, not like burnt, but kind of like that little like extra crisp. It's got like that crispness to it almost. I don't know even how to explain that outside of just that. That was beautiful. That was delicious looking. I want to eat that. That's what Karen, sometimes say when he pops up on them shorts, every now and then when he's reacting, well, semi-reacting, to a delicious, thing being made, and when it's the end result, he's just like, I want to eat that, and that's how I feel. I want to eat that because it looked delicious as fuck. We all soup people at work. It's a nice event. Well, hey, I mean, it's damn right, man. Especially when they happen to be managers. That's when it's even the worst. I'm just glad that, I like my department manager. Like I said, when I was, venting with my pops over there, like, I mean, it's like she came up to me because she got written up over some stupid bullshit that was literally just nitpicking. And, it was for literally over nothing. And, it was pretty much like bawling her eyes. I've been like, if this kind of shit that I have to deal with and continue to deal with this bullshit, then I'm just done. I'll go back to like Salmon Creek where it's fucking, like I know I ain't gonna be treated like this, and I know things are way chiller, and like they got positions open for me over there, as a manager. So she was like, fuck this kind of thing. And I even straight up told her, it's like, hey, him and I, might not join you way out there, but shit, like, I'll fucking, like, I'm getting my ass out of here too, especially like numero uno, number one, if you do. Because I am definitely not sticking around to deal with the end result of, all that shit. Because, I mean, unless, like, the department manager ends up being one of my other coworkers, which could be a possibility, but it's like, I just don't want to deal with that shit anymore. But I on Threads because it's stored today. I saw a fucking nutcracker on display already set up. Oh, I know. I saw that on my break. I saw that when I was in the bathroom at work, and I was like, I think I liked it already. I think I might have responded to it. But yeah, I would have said it too. Luckily, that ain't on display yet. There's like, fucking, like the closest that it is, the Nightmare Before Christmas dude, Jack Skeleton or whatever the fuck. Like, he's up. But that's the closest it gets, which I can accept that. Well, whatever. I could give a shit if it's that. But there definitely is, it's starting to get there. I'm noticing like those little evergreen little like buying things and shit that, are displayed. Like those are starting to come out. Like a lot of the autumn generic shit starting to come out on top of the Halloween stuff right now. So it's getting there. I'm starting to realize like September is kind of like the I don't see a response, but it's cool. Or maybe did I not like it or anything? I thought I did. Maybe I misclicked sending a post because I mean I was on the shitter and I was like, that was the last thing I was looking at before I finished the biz, you know what I'm saying? So maybe I just misclicked and thought I did and just didn't think twice about it. Oops. Maybe it's a draft. Maybe it's drafted, so hopefully I don't have to rethink about what the fuck I was even saying. Because I don't even remember what I, was going to send. So hopefully it's a draft. I honestly even thought I liked it, but I guess I didn't. Just in case it comes across like that. Nah, they were good, bro. Nah. I didn't think that. I was just kind of a little flabbergasted because I honestly legit thought I did react to it, but I guess I didn't. I thought I did, but I guess I didn't. I just kind of blame, just being a cheater, doing my biz and just didn't send it like I thought I did, so whatever. Yeah, shit happens. No pun intended. Shit was happening and thought I did some shit, but shit happened and didn't go through. I think the holidays try to merge into a singularity. Honestly, in a weird way, I kind of embrace that. But the thing is, I want Halloween to be completely separate from it. It's like we got October and then November where Thanksgiving and all that shit is and blah, blah, blah. And then you got December where like Festivus, Yuletide, Christmas, yada yada is all in. So let like Thanksgiving to like Christmas / New Year's just be like a mega like holiday season where you pretty much can use 1 week of holiday pay at your leisure, and it's legally given to you by law, union, non-union, doesn't matter, independent contractor, etc., where you're paid, where you can have holiday time off on, again, your leisure during that time period. Like November 20th to January 1st. There you go. Give January 1st because, a lot of people might be hungover. You know what I mean? New Year's, January 2nd, just in case. November 20th to January 2nd. And you can use it whenever you want. And you also have other time off and shit like that, depending on the company as well. So it's like, if you want to use that, and then say, hey, I'm also using my vacation pay a week afterwards for New Year's or some shit for a week. Like, this includes that too. Like, I mean, it pretty much is saying that, like, hey, companies, if we decide that we want to, like, fuck off for a little bit, then, yeah, we're doing that. Fuck you. So that's just kind of how I am about it. So in a weird way, I kind of embrace it, but with stipulations. Like, I'm okay with it to, a degree. Because the idea of merging a lot of these holidays into basically like a singularity holiday kind of thing, or at least like a holiday season, like in name especially, but not in practice, not just, it's a season because there's like 1,000 holidays. Like, no, merge it all into one just big holiday season and just call it like the Festivus holiday, season. And whatever you want to do, whenever it comes to like whatever traditions, cultural stuff, whatever the fuck, there you go. You got 1 week for it. Guaranteed 1 week by law. No matter what fucking job you're doing, any of that shit, and you get paid for it. There you go. Boom. I think at least at that point, I'd be completely fine with that, and let's do it. Let's merge it into a singularity, baby. But Halloween separate. Again, October, it's not involved in that. It's late November onwards. And then like January 2nd. Just because, you got to kind of have a recovery period after New Year's and the whole celebrations and all that, you know what I mean? 2-day recovery period. Got to give the grace period, I know Thanksgiving, at least in America, I know it's on the 25th or whatever the fuck, but I say the 20th because there's usually like a prelude, and all this other shit. And it's a big kind of like Thanksgiving week almost nowadays, more so, than just a day. So, I mean, again, grace period. So, let's go. Let's do it, Like, I mean, am I wrong here? I mean, judging by, the lack of criticism here about, what I have to say about this, I think it's agreeable. I mean, because let's be honest, like, Christmas especially is, like, even devolved away from, like, what Christianity is, when it came to their celebrations about it. Like, unless you're, like, raised up Christian and have Christian family and shit like that or whatever the fuck, like, the whole Christian aspect about Christmas is pretty much dead. It's literally just in the name. Christ, Christmas, that's about as far as it goes these days. Outside of, again, those extra, asterisks. So it's like, I mean, it's pretty much like a full-on capitalistic consumer holiday where everything is like half off and you can just like, buy a lot of shit. Which, hey, it's nice, but I mean, it's like, why not just make that a whole fucking like, again, the singularity? Because think about it, like, these fucking companies, like, they know when it comes to, like, discounting a fuckload of shit when it comes to, like, during these holiday seasons and shit like that, even on Labor Day, like, when it comes to the sales. So, I mean, think about this. Like, they are still making a shitload of fucking profit, and making a lot of fuck you money. Yeah, I don't know why I went Italian with that, but, like, they have a lot of fuck you money still, And honestly, in ways, make record profits during these times of the year, when they're discounting a lot of shit. Because in a lot of people's minds, at least as a consumer, they're thinking, oh, I'm saving a lot of money so I can buy more shit. Whatever that is, whatever store it might be that's doing these things, which is pretty much going to be the majority of them. Even small businesses will do this shit. And for small business, they're actually probably legitimately taking cut. Like, some small, creator, that's like selling, some handmade jewelry on fucking Etsy or whatever the fuck. Like they might honestly be taking a little bit cut. But at least with these big corporations and shit, like Walmart, Amazon, grocery stores like Safeway, Fred Meyer, Kroger, etc. Like, they ain't taking no goddamn cut. They're making fucking record profits. So these fucking price gougy bullshit prices that are the normal prices is just, it's just an extra way to make a little more fuck you money, basically. Like, they could be, making just as, if anything, more profits, if they just, made the discount deals the normal prices. They just would. Because even if they did do discount prices from those, prices when they, adjust to it, they'd still be making money. Maybe at that point they'd be making a little less profit and shit. But again, that same logic applies from, like I said before. People would think, oh, I'm saving money now because I'm, taking advantage of a lot of these deals, so I can now buy more stuff. They're still going to make it up. People are spending about just the same amount. It's just that they're able to use more mobility with that fucking money to buy more things. And that, shocker, helps people. Wow, it's like, it's shocker. Even in a capitalistic framework, you need economic fucking mobility, and it's like starvation wage shit, obviously ain't fucking working. Bargains don't make anything like the prices were already too high to begin with. Exactly. If anything, people just take advantage of it because now they have a chance to actually use some of their fucking money to buy some of the shit that they want or need. That's pretty much, where it comes from. And also, at least when it comes to a lot of online stores, especially when it comes to a lot of these stores that like drop ship and all that, a lot of them will have like this by proxy kind of like a 10 or 15% discount already. That's kind of arbitrary. And that's honestly kind of like artificially done. Like, it's meant to look like you're saving money, even though you're just spending the real price tag for what that is. That's pretty much about it. Unless you're getting it directly from the manufacturer, which is definitely going to cost more, then you're pretty much paying for the third-party market price tag for a lot of that shit. But even then, depending on the manufacturer, like, it might not even be that expensive. It just really depends. Just like, it's like what again, like quantity, it's like kind of like, cheap, for a lack of quality, or like a, quality for a lack of being cheap. It's just fucked. And it gets so annoying too, because like a lot of people really do have like a major weird hyper focus and fixation about like a lot of different shit that really has fuck all to do with like their day-to-day life. Like, I guess my dad in here so I could get away from having this rant. But I don't know, like, I don't get, like, at least for example, like, why my dad, for example, is like a Zionist, honestly. Like, and he tends to like show off his libertarianism pretty much even in like a capitalistic framework, American libertarian bullshit. Like, like, he'll throw that shit on for anything until it comes to a country that he was never born and raised with, or doesn't even have like, hey, I got like a 1% Jew in me, so I could be his birthright citizen there, or whatever the fuck. Like, he doesn't even got that. So it's like, suddenly he becomes legit, like, standard down the line, like, oh, yeah, the Palestinian evil, and blah, blah, blah. Like, last time when I wrapped the strain up, like, it kind of went off on that a little bit. I was just like, because I always try to at least, say it's like, it ain't just, some bullshit being spread around, whatever. It's like I read articles and read what's actually being said. Like, you literally are arguing against like international like organizations at this point. And like, and every time it gets challenged, he literally always just walks off and then mumbles some random shit as he wanders away, and then it just dismisses it and leaves. Like, and man, I mean, seriously, next time it gets brought up, it's like, dude, I'm gonna be straight up, be like, bro, you don't even listen to half the shit I'm saying. You don't even know what, like, I get my information from. You don't even stick around to have a chance to actually, like, fucking understand where that perspective is coming from. Like, because you, like, for whatever reason, don't want to just sit down and, like, have a chat with this. Like, it's like, I'm your own kid. Like, I mean, what? You're too scared to have a conversation with me because what? I'm smarter than you or something? Like, is that it? Because one, true. But two, it's just like, I mean, even if that's the case, learn something from your boy a little bit. It's like, what? I mean, what? You don't think dads learn shit from their kids? Because that happens all the time. Did I just say fucking Mickey just like stroll his little ass over here? I swear to God, bro. I swear to God, Mickey the rat wants to do some shit. I'm about to fucking like grab a hammer. In fact, I do see a hammer in sight. Got a bag of butterscotch candy, bro. Dude, the butterscotch candy sounds really nice to kind of suckle on right about now. Weirdly enough, I don't know why, but I have kind of like an urge to just kind of have a toothpick and play around with it. Kind of like one of the stereotypical like greasers in like a 50s movie like The Outsiders, where you got like a toothpick sticking around and you're just like just playing around with it. I don't know why, but I kind of have a weird urge for that. But I would look like straight up like such a fucking douche if I do that. So it's like, I'm not going to do that. Like, I'm already going to look like not just a douche, but a straight up faggy douche. But at least the faggy part is correct. At least, being clear. But the douche... But you know what? I'll embrace it. I'm already kind of halfway there anyway. It's literally just like, do I want to sacrifice this? That's it. Because honestly, I could do it right now if I just went right there. I mean, I already have it like set right there. Because if I did, all I gotta do is just stylize this shit a little bit. I mean, you can already tell. Like, I mean, see, I already got like a bunch of like loose bullshit as it is. So, see, I mean, I already kind of like, see, like right here in this angle, it already kind of looks like I do a little bit. Here, let me kind of fuck around with a little more of it. Let's get to like the very front here. Oh my god. Oh my god. It's got a mind of its own. But here, let me do that. See, yeah, like at this angle, it already does. It already looks like I do a little bit. See what I mean? If anything, I could probably fucking rock a little bit of a mohawk status and let shit fly down here a little bit. Like, I mean, it's already kind of like 1/20th of the way there. It's already kind of there because honestly, when the hat goes on, I mean, it literally will not look any different. I mean, so, and I always like, wearing my hats. So, I mean, realistically, would there really be a change in my appearance here? Outside a few times you don't catch me wearing a hat. So, I mean, the only thing is that now I would just have, like this to deal with. which whatever. I mean, if I decide to let everything grow back out, then I could just trim this back and then kind of let everything eventually even itself out again. I'll just kind of have to maintain a trimmage, over time. And that's the thing. It's like if that's what's kind of holding me back from doing a pompadour more a little bit, because I could just let the sides grow out right now and whatever, and it wouldn't be a big deal. But I mean, that's it's like having to maintain that shit, because now I'm gonna have to at least get like something to kind of like stylize it, not outside of just this, right? Like, so now I gotta get like a gel maybe now. Like I gotta be a manicure bitch now. I gotta fucking work on my work on that bitch now. It's like and that's the one thing, because some days I'm just going to be like, oh shit, need to go to work. I'm just like, whatever. And just like get the hat on and fucking just go. So, I mean, it'd be an adaptation. But you know what? I've been talking about it for too fucking long. I think I might just have one of these days. We'll say fucking and just do it. Because again, no one's going to notice a fucking difference for the most part. If anything, it might be a shock. I won't even say that I did it. I'll just have it done. The one of these days, will catch me with the hat off, and you'll realize it was done. And be like, oh, fuck, you did it. It's like, yeah. Honestly, you know what? One of my friends are going to give it away. Dude, like Rip City or some other motherfucker. Like, one of them is going to come in here and then be like, Doc of the Husky Mullet MC and fucking give it away or some shit. You know what? God damn it. I just gotta surprise them too then. I just gotta do it and not even tell them. Just let it be a shock and just be like, oh shit, he did it. Because I straight up, like, me, Tyler, Rip, and Harley, we all had an argument about this. For some reason, Logan did not participate in the argument. But, and I was just like, bruh, it don't look that bad. It's just one of those things where, depending on how you stylize it, it could look trashy as shit, obviously, or it could look pretty good. And honestly, there has been like a comeback in the mullet anyway. So, and there's been various different styles of like the mullet that have kind of come back. But one that hasn't yet is a pompadour style mullet. I got the hair for it already. It's all like it literally from this angle right here, it already looks like it. So just fuck it, right? That's kind of where I'm at about it, but I guess for this one, it actually is just as easy as said and done. I just need to do it. The tattoos are the one I'm still kind of like easier said than done, because I also need money for that, but also to tip the tattoo artist. Because I at least have, a few ideas in mind set in stone of what I want, but I want to at least make sure I got the funds for it. But I'm also saving up money for other shit right now. So in the meantime, once all that shit is done and out of the way, then I'll get myself a tat. I love how my dad freaked the fuck out on the idea that he thought I was going to get a face tattoo or some shit. Oh my god. I fucking love that. I mean, I understand why he was all like, "Argh," but I mean, bro, it kind of goes back to the whole like IP thing too a little bit. Like, you'll literally just hear like some buzzwords that I say, or like hear a phrase that I'm saying, or like just out of context shit, when he walks in here and thinks I'm saying one thing and then just goes off on it. And it's like, bruh, you were literally in here for like 10 seconds and heard me say like a thing. Like, why don't you like listen for a second and understand the context of what the fuck I'm talking about? Or at least since he's my pop here, maybe he could be like, hey, what are you talking about? And then I can at least give him the TLDR version of it. If someone did that in here, I'd be like, dude, just go back on the stream a little bit. Like, I mean, even on a short, there is a way to do that. So, I mean, it's like, I would just say go back like 5 minutes. But because my pops, I will at least give him the rehash. Well, unless there's a mod too. If like Rose asks, like, what are you talking about, to now give him TLDR. or like Venom or Rip City even or whatever. But if it's like a rando, I'll be like, just go back like 5 minutes and you'll get the general gist. But still, it's like he does this so often. It's like, bruh, just fucking like, just tell me the gist of like, or it's not even telling me the gist. It's like, ask me what the gist is, and I'll tell you, and then we can have a back and forth from there. Because I remember how that even started off too. It was like over just the hypotheticals of like, even if I had like fucking money and I didn't care, like where I would put like face tats and shit, which is pretty much like here, maybe here, stuff like that. And frankly, at least realistically, the closest I'd ever do, shit around here maybe. But that's about it. But he didn't hear any of that. He heard everything else when he came in. I freaked the fuck out over it. So it's like, Jesus Christ. They even had him muted because, he was drunk as shit that night. The fuck was like topping around. So I had to like mute him and be like, bruh, why you do this? Why do you do this? Like, what the fuck? I'm vibing doing my own thing and you're like exploding off into like a rampage. Even last night with like, when I was like kind of talking about like, my little like gripes, with politics, it was geopolitically in that sense, about the whole situation going on right now. Like, he didn't bother to hear fucking anything from any of that. It's like, dude, it's like, man, bro, there's even people who are like legit like lib as fuck Zionists or even kind of like, yo, we should probably be chilling a little bit. It's still okay, but we need to kind of take a step back, man. We're supposed to do it incrementally. Not in a sense of like literal Naziistic extermination status. We need to cut it back a little bit. Like, there's even motherfuckers like that. I still don't like them because I still think they're stupid, but it's like shit, man. And I guarantee you, he does not like read up and stay kind of up to date about that shit. And honestly, even I was kind of like tuning out of politics for a while, but I kind of kind of like caught up a little bit about what's been happening in the last like week and shit, and especially geopolitically. It's like, unfortunately, same shit, different day, but it just, hey, guess what? Sadly, just gets worse, and it's fucking ridiculous. And it's like one of those things where, like, anyone who's still obstinate about it, it's like I just can't fucking help them at that point. At this rate, outside of just telling them what the fucking facts are about this shit. Like, even with the whole idea of like the dudes who, the IDF dudes who are like overtly, openly like caught gang raping on camera, like a Palestinian, and were pretty much pardoned and treated as war heroes and given national like interviews and on national media and shit like that. Like, he didn't even believe any of it. It's like, dude, that literally happened. That actually and literally is happening. Like, dude, you can't just say nah. And just think, nope, thus it didn't happen. Nah. It's like, bro, you can't just, I don't know. It's like, what the fuck do you do with that? What's up? Hey, what's up, Drew? Actually, speaking of the pops, I did ask him about, one of the kitties that you were talking about. And he was still open about getting their kitty. So, honestly, just like, hit me up about that, like, about when you're free and shit. I can let you know my schedule. Because I do have a lot of shit coming up here pretty soon, but not in the next, couple weeks. So, at least not that I'm aware of. Ooh, oh, damn, that felt good. Ooh, that even felt better. Ooh. Snack, cracker, pop on the Spinosaurus right there. Ooh. Bye-bye, Rose. I guess, you might be one of the first to know, I guess, now at this point. We may now be getting our kitty. Trying to get him friendly. Well, see if we can get him friendly with a doggo, because Zukov is definitely going to want to play, with this cat. You know what? Knowing how Bandit was, because he was never acclimated around dogs when he was growing up. But, Zukov was still a puppy when, he got acclimated with him a little bit, before his unfortunate passing. Fucking coyotes. But, but in this case, I mean, Zukov is a little more tempered, but I guarantee he's still going to want to play. He still tries to do that with Curly sometimes. But he's honestly legit afraid of Curly. He's afraid of that cat because he is just like, he's like, fuck off. He's an old angry grump. Well, they're 10 weeks old. Aw, 10 weeks. Well, I mean, give me a time frame of when you think you're, or at least when you think they're ready to, be adopted and stuff and all that shit. And also, you need to let me know, like, what, availability you got if, you want to kind of swing by down my area or some shit one day, he says. Hey, if you need gas money, I'll fucking cash app you if you want. One looks like the cat you had. Oh, really? Well, it looks like a little bandito. Yeah, you guys, see if you, I mean, you don't have to do it now, but, send me some pictures of the kitties if you get a chance. I want to see the kitties. Because I might nab the one that looks like Bandito, but I'm not going to name that cat Bandito. I might, I'll just have to see what, like, the behavior of that cat is. I'm just going to have to, like, get acclimated. Give it, like, a couple days. Because when I first got Zukov, I wanted to name him Leif, but he never stuck with that name. But, because he already was getting acclimated to the zoo part of Zeus. But he never completely answered to that. So I was able to at least get the Zhu part of his name. So I was like, you know what name, can I, adopt that has a Z in it? And I, with enough research, I was like, you know what, wait a minute. Gregory Zukov. And I, kind of did a little research on him a little bit, just honestly, just out of curiosity, because, I mean, I already kind of knew a little bit about him, but I kind of wanted to, like, read more about, like, his personality and his behavior and shit as a person, and a lot of that, especially came from other people, and other field marshals and, Soviet generals at the time, too, and how they perceived him. And there was one quote by Husky that honestly just fucking nailed it to a T. I mean, stubborn yet very disciplined. I forgot the exact quote. It started like that. It's like Zukov is stubborn yet very disciplined. It's like very orderly, but doesn't take to authority very well and shit, like something like that. I forgot the exact quote, but if you look up like Zukov on Wikipedia, like give it enough time, you'll find that somewhere on their on the wiki page. But when I read that up, I was like, okay, this nails him to a T, because he's always had that same exact behavior when I first got him and shit, and he pretty much is described perfectly in that quote. I'm like, all right, you're Zukov now. That's your name. And now it's stuck with him. Like, he responds to that to a T. But, yeah, he can be stubborn sometimes. But I love him for it. I just wish I had, like, treats for him right now, because I kind of want to, like, bring him over here so I can have him on my lap so, you can see him. See how he's doing and all that stuff. But, nope. He's just sleeping, taking a nap in the laundry room. Bastard. The bastard. You have to keep it indoors. Well, knowing the last time, yeah. Like, I'm gonna even tell Pops, like, we're keeping this cat indoors, you know. I want to try to keep whatever, you know, potential risks, you know, with that shit to a minimal. And also, you know, maybe I at least get the cat chipped, you know, as well. So just in case, you know, if the cat wants to be like an indoor cat eventually or some shit, you know, we can't control that. Because with Bandit, we wanted to have him be an indoor cat, but he fucking hated it. Like, he would, yeah, I mean, you remember some of the nights when he would literally like pry out my fucking window in my room to be let out. You can walk it. Oh, yeah, with a little kitty harness. Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, we could do that. Yeah. Bro, what if I alternated every other week and bring a kitty to Duffy's and then, you know, sometimes bringing, you know, Zukov, you know, like, dude, what if I'm just a bro for that shit, dude? Dude, I would be like the fucking animal whisperer. Oh my god, that was Mickey the Rat. You fucker. I knew you were around here, you little son of a bitch. All right. Hammer status. You might see me unironically chuck this thing, but I don't care. Ignar about to go Ugnar, bro. About to go Ugnar, dude. Ugh. I straight up unironically will fucking throw this thing. I will fucking throw that over there if I see that little shit over here again. Will there be destruction? Yes. Am I hoping that it will be a rat's skull? Yes. But that motherfucker, bro. See, this is why we need the cat, bro. This is why we need the kitty. Because I'm left here to my own devices and nothing's worked. And I'm sick of this little shithead. He needs to get evicted. Or kill-victed. About to go fucking real landlord status on this motherfucker. About to send Pinkertons in, bitch. Honestly, I don't think that would work. As much as I wanted to, it won't work. I have my ugh moment, but it ain't gonna work. But it at least proves the point. We need a kitty because, you know, do you think Bandit would? Do you think he, in his kingdom, blessed be his name, would allow these fucking scoundrels to run rampant in his land? Nay. And man, oh dude, people are man, there are people that might, you know, check this out and shit, especially, you know, like live a little bit, lurkers, people scrolling, skibbity scrolling. But bro, I mean, they don't know the great gloriousness of the king of Bandit, blessed be his name. They don't understand. They don't know. It's a shame, bro. It's a shame. Because Bandit, dude, it was a good boy. The goodest of boys. I know Mornax has uploaded of Bandit sneaking in on one of my chick attendees one day. It was back in 2020, I think, during the height of COVID and shit. Oh, little bandito. Man, I miss that fucking cat. Yeah, I miss a lot of cats. I miss my old kitty Chewy, Miss Scooter. As much as she was a bitch and a fucking demon from hell, Miss Hiss, baby kitty. She was a fucking psycho cunt, but, you know, I loved her, though. Because Carly is her son. You know, Cleo and Meg, you know, were, you know, the offspring of her psychoticness. But at least they were, like, all chill. Well, Carly is chill, but he's kind of an old grump. I actually brought him in here, on stream the other night. He just happened to hang it out outside, and I just kind of brought him in, and it's like, hey, what's up, bro? Well, not outside, but he was hanging out over here in the kitchen. I just brought him, just picked him up and just brought him in here. Wasn't exactly really too happy about it. Zukov, I wish you were a rat hunter. I think you would enjoy the meal you'll get out of it. Actually, you know what? No, that would not be a good idea because you would probably get like a fuckload of parasites or something. I miss those kitties. Flashback to a cat puke on my bed. Oh my god, bro. Dude. My cat Chewy, like, man, I really love that cat. And I kind of feel bad because honestly, like, there were times, growing up where, I didn't really treat her very well. And I kind of, was neglectful, but it was like during my like late teenage, years and shit. And she would just be so skittish to the point where it's like, well, fuck you. At least all these other cats are cool. It was just, I don't know. Like, there's times where I kind of feel guilty about, how I've treated that cat. I never was abusive or anything. I just kind of like, I feel like there were just times where I could have been, paying more attention to give her more love and shit like that. But, either way, it's like, there was one time where she was sleeping right beside my head, but I guess she just had to go. But I literally woke up to her shit literally right in my face. And it kind of like literally like, when I woke up and moved around wondering what the fuck the smell was, it literally rolled right on my cheek. Big oof. Yep. Big oof. Bro, I was pissed. I got fucking mad. I was like, what the fuck, cat? And like, I grabbed her and I was like, you fucking son of a bitch. And she was kind of like, oh shit. But I just like kind of, tossed her out of the room. I was like, you fucking cunt. And then I woke everyone up because this happened at like 9 in the morning. Like I think my mom just woke up and went to the bathroom, was hanging out in the master bedroom's bathroom. I think my, dad was smoking a cigarette because he woke up with that. And this is when Uncle Robert was there too, at the time. And he got woken up by me. I immediately took a shower. I went back in my bed, fucking cleaned up that mess, fucking grabbed all my pillows and all that shit, just immediately shoved it in the fucking washer machine, and I just slept on a blank, empty, just mattress bare with like a spare pillow that I found in the closet. I just slept naked after that, and it was on my weekend, so I just like closed the door. She, my cat, just was somewhere else in the house, but I was like closed the door immediately after that. And my mom was like, what the fuck happened? Oh. And I told her after I took a shower with, towel wrapped around, I'd be like, Mom, my cat, just kind of gave her the general gist, what I just said basically. And then it's like, and I think I yelled like, fuck, I love that cat, but I fucking hate when she does shit like that. Even though she never did that before. But like, fuck. Because there's been times where she will like find like some corner in my room or like some random thing and just take a deuce there. Like she was just, I don't know what it was. I don't understand why she was like that, but she'll just do that every now and then. Not all the time, but she'll just, like, no pun intended, have like a hair up her ass and just will do that shit, and it's fucking annoying me. But I mean, she was still like, like a super sweet cat beyond that, because like whenever I would just like, be doing gaming, hanging out on my, on my desk, playing a game or some shit, she would just hang out on my lap, purr, be, making, muffins and shit like that, just like, kneading, all that shit. She would just be chill. But every now and then she'll just do random things like that, and it would just, I don't know if it was like some quirk in her head about that or what, but maybe it played a role about maybe me, like, at least during that time being kind of neglectful about it. I don't know. Like I said, I kind of still have a little hang up about, you know, about her and shit, but I think a lot of it, like I said, probably was just due to that shit and an insecure hormonal teenager and not really necessarily feeling like, like, dude, genuine, like, kind of weight of the ownership of that, at that time. Nowadays, obviously, it's way different. I mean, I got Zukov now, and I have Bandit, and we'll follow my other cats. So it's just like now at this point, now like, it's I think, I mean, I guess all in all, learning experience because like Scooter was my first cat, but he was like the family cat. He wasn't just mine. He was like the whole family's, and shit. I mean, and so at least with him being my first cat, man, like if I could find some pictures of him, I definitely gotta share it, because like he was like this, the sweetest, beautifulest, goodest of boys, and was just a lover's boy too. Like he liked, he didn't really like being just held, but if you picked him up really quick, and sat down somewhere, just held him on your, just had him on your lap, and just like gave him pets and scritches, like he would just fucking love that. I mean, and at least for a time, he will be okay with like cuddling up with you when you're, in bed and shit, and just chilling with you. But at a certain point, he'll eventually just want to do his own thing and wander off. But like, he was just the sweetest of boys, and like, I mean, and man, dude, that cat was the greatest of kitties. Like, eventually, it just became kind of like the chill old man that was kind of like chilling, for the most part, but. And, with that cat's use when I was like, at 9, like 8, 9 years old and shit, like, we would let him out and stuff. And back in that day, there was like this big hulk of like a Maine Coon, like, I think like orange tabby mix, but it was just a beast, like a beast of a cat. And, Scooter, happened to be outside in the backyard one day where that big boy was just chilling. Scooter didn't like that. He was in his turf and he was like, oh, hell no. And Scooter was like legit a third his size, at least in comparison, because this cat was like fucking gargantuan. Like, at least a Maine Coon mix for sure. And in fact, honestly, that we kind of theorize, that our old cat Meg and Cleo might have been mixed with him a little bit because our other cat, Baby Kitty, or Miss Hiss, like she might have either been an offspring of that cat or potentially, mated with that cat, which if that's the case, then oh my God, holy shit. But I mean, either way, it's like Scooter, you saw him in the backyard and he was like, oh, hell no, I ain't about that shit. And he just like charged this cat, and that big boy like looked over and went, what the fuck, and freaked the fuck out and just like jumped off and ran away. Talking to Husky TLC MC. This format sucks, so mobile won't let me back up. Yeah, it's, I kind of get it's a little quirky, but I kind of experiment with it because I have been having like random people pop in and, kind of, stir the pot a little bit. So I'm kind of experimenting with it a little bit right now. I'm going to kind of give it a little time and do this for a little bit off and on and shit and see how it works. So I get there's quirkiness with it and shit, it's just, Got the first midnight dive of September. Dude, this weekend, I'm thinking Tuesday, I'm just going to visit my mom. And then after that, check out one of the Fred Meyer strikes going on. And then, take my dog up to the river and go for a little swimmy swim. So, at least that's what I'm thinking about. Tuesday, you getting up early to raft? Oh, shit. Are you now? That is a day off for me. Oh, actually, speaking of which, now that I have you here, I found out that after this week, I think the next couple weeks, I think I'm now going to have consistent Mondays and Tuesdays off now. So that means obviously more time to hang out and shit like that. But I think it's after this week. Logan and I, possibly others. Fuck. Man, for me, this is literally last second, but holy shit, I might low-key be down for that. Same day as Harley night. Fuck. I mean, because honestly, like, I do have an idea about what I want to do on Tuesday, and I definitely kind of want to visit my mama as well, but I could postpone that. So, I at least have Monday to think this out. Keep an open ear about me. I might be down for this. What time, like, how early are we talking about? Like, if Logan's friends show up? Oh, shit, you're right. Well, we still have at least Monday to kind of, pregame this. That's what I'm saying is last second. But shit, I mean, you got me intrigued, man. Because I'm honestly starting to realize I'm getting a little bit of a tan going on. I mean, oh shit, there is a difference now. Oh, dude, yeah, there you go. Yeah, see? I mean, all these outdoor adventures are starting to kind of get me going a little bit with the not looking like a fucking snowball fucking in the summer, dude. Tan, quote unquote, lol. Fuck off. Whatever. You know me. I'm the pasty white boy summer cracker ball over here, okay? I'm a snowball. But you know what? There is a difference, though. I mean, look at that. See, there is a difference, so fuck you. It's still tan, asshole. I don't know. I mean, keep me posted about it. I mean, I'll at least, I'll, like, at least, put my pitch into it. Because if Logan decides to not, like, show up, then, or not, maybe not him, but at least like his buddies don't show up, then maybe I can at least fill in that role. You know what? If that's honestly the case, you know what? Because I was the only one who dived into fucking frigid cold ass Pacific Ocean last Monday, and all this other shit. You know what? I'll just like hold on to a raft and fucking be swimming that whole bitch. I don't give a fuck. How about that? Would it even work? How shallow is it? I mean, I'm going to have to at least, get some of the details about this, because honestly, I won't even care. I'll be the wild man. I'll be the wild caveman status and about this shit. Be like, ugh. Just like float around and just like hold on to shit and swim and stuff. Get my cardio in. Because I definitely need to work on my cardio. When we were doing rafting last time, on Carver Depart and shit, when I was, swimming in, where we kind of hung out in that little, like, pool cliffside area and shit, those currents are really strong, and it like made me realize I need to get my cardio going when it comes to like swimming that shit, because I wasn't even fighting with the current. I was kind of going semi with the current a little bit, and even then I was just like, ugh. It took a lot out of me. I was like sitting across there being like, ugh, fuck, shit, I need my cardio. Damn. It was still fun, though, but shit, like, it was like, man, doing that alone, I was like, all right, that's my swimming for today. Guess you could take the tube, but we'd have to tie you to the raft. That works. Honestly, I'd just be kind of hanging out and be like, what's up? I'll be the speaker boy, I'll just be like, in the center, and like, everyone just like surrounds me, and I have like a big, we'll just bring a speaker and just like blast that bitch, and I'm just like the speaker guy. I'll be the fucking courier. I'll hold everything. I'll just be chilling in the tube with everything, and there you go. Boom. There we go. Dude, honestly, that would work for me. I don't give a shit. I mean, I'll feel bad because I'm just sitting, laying back, being like, yeah. But, I mean, hey, I'm still speaker boy. That'll be the nickname for me, the entire day. I'll just be speaker boy. I'm just trying to hype it up now, honestly. I'm trying to kind of like find any excuse to maybe be down for that. But also, how early are we talking about, too? Because, I mean, I might just pull an all-nighter, or maybe also, like, spend the night at Logan's and ask if he wants to maybe, play some pool at the Wichita or some shit on Monday. And then I just go with him. Because I could at least grab a couple things, and grab my usual shit. And also definitely learn in hindsight, when it comes to my phone. So I definitely will be doing some hindsight shit about certain things. So I think we can make it work. I mean, all hype aside, I will say this at least, like, I won't like full on pressure it or like hyper force it and whatever, but if it's something that is a possibility and if it can be worked out, then I guess consider myself down. I can at least, work out some of the other stuff I was going on with Tuesday just for Wednesday. But I'll just, like that won't be really a big deal for me. Actually, funny enough, like, oh wait, if depending on how early we leave, then I won't get my new boots because I'm getting boots on Tuesday too, which I guess ain't a big deal. I can actually, take my throwaway shoes, that I got right now, and then just have those. And so, okay, whatever. Actually, it works out. I don't even know why I'm fretting about that. Hey, loose hair, get off me. Instead of being blind to two eyes, blind to one eye. Dude, Rip is just being savage, bro. Rip is just roasting me, dude. He's cooking. What the fuck? Dude, what the hell, Rip? What did I do to you? You're just like roasting me. It's like chestnuts roasted on open fire over here, bro. Like, damn. I'm getting cooked by fucking Rip, bro. What the hell? Instead of blinding two eyes, I'm only blinding one eye. What the fuck? How does that even make sense? I guess it's like so bright. It's like instead of being like, oh, Jesus. Ah. Now it's more like, oh, shit. And he kind of doing this because he got one eye open, but the other one's like, oh, fuck. And you get... man. Dude, honestly, like, one of these days, we should have, like, a roast-off. Like, one of us, stands, on a podium or some shit, and all of us just roast them. And we, like... oh my god, dude, we should do this. But we all have to, like, sign a clause or some shit with each other. As the boys. Like, the next time we all, like, all five of us get together. Like, Rip, Harley, Tyler, Melty, all of us. Like, we all got to, like... Santa Claus being like, hey, we all got, like, some roasts. And we have to embrace the roast session. Never take it personal when it comes to the roasts. And just, like... let it, like, and let us have some time to prep even. Be like, yo, if you want to, like, write, some roasts and, like, kind of have, like, an outline and, like, an arc with things, we could do that. Oh, dude, weirdly enough, I kind of want to do that. Because, I mean, I feel like, that would be a fun, tongue-in-cheek, like, way to, like, kind of, shoot the shit with the boys a little bit. Because they ain't serious. Doc of the Wait What? Portland Spirit runs this slate. The Portland Spirit is active, dude. Yo, send a pic on Telegram, dude. I want to see what it looks like at night. Yo, what the hell? Dude, the Portland Spirit, the SS Portland Spirit is fucking running right now. Unless I'm tripping cojones, the Portland Spirit is right in front of me. Take a picture. I want to see. Send it on Telegram. Send it to the group chat even, dude. I want to see. Dude, go check it out, bro. Or take a pic or something. I want what? I mean, dude, that is an anomaly, and it usually doesn't run this. Like, dude, it's after midnight. It's almost 1 a.m, and the Portland Spirit's doing this biz. What the fuck? Is there like did some rich fuck just privately bought a party on the Portland Spirit or something? Can you rent out the Portland Spirit or some shit? Like that is the only thing I could think of. It's like some rich fuck rented it out for the night. Like what the can you rent it? Can you rent the Portland Spirit for shit like that? I'm honestly not too sure, but if so, that'd be kind of fucking wild. But might explain that. Because why would the Portland Spirit be doing like a tour on the Willamette at like fucking 1 a.m? Or at least 15 till 1 a.m? Like, what the fuck? Dude, he sent me okay, you know what? All right, give me a second. I actually do want to look at this. So, here, give me like 15 seconds. Like, I'm going to check out this fucking picture. I want to see the Portland Spirit, dude. This is kind of wild to me. Like, what the fuck? Here we go. Give me. Okay, hold on. Get the music back. Dude. Okay, you know what? I am 100% convinced you can, if you're rich enough, you could privately rent that fucking thing, bro. Dude, it literally looks like it's a full party going on that fucking boat, dude. Dude, that's like some rich people fucking party going on. And you're saying there's an over intoxicated wine mom that you can audibly hear out of that whole party? Bruh, I guarantee you it was like some rich fuck's birthday. They rented it out for the night and they're having a party on the boat. I guarantee, dude, how much cocaine, how much fucking rich people drug shenanigans are going on that boat right now, bro? Dude, think about some of the rich, influential type people that live in Portland and shit that may be on that boat. Because I guarantee you that's what's going on that boat, bro. Dude, why is the Portland Spirit being used right now in the middle of the night at 1 a.m? Unless some rich fuck, rented out, the fucking thing, for a late night party fiasco, bizarre or whatever, it's like, or I mean, I don't know. That's the only thing I could think of. Like some rich fuck rented it out for the night and they're having a big fucking party for some reason or another. I'm kind of wondering now. I kind of wonder. We should ask the Portland subreddit, what's the deal with the Portland Spirit? Can you legit rent it? And show a picture and stuff and kind of explain your story a little bit, because I'm sure that would be honestly an interesting discussion. I'd be kind of curious because I'm sure there's probably someone on the Portland subreddit that might have the scuttlebutt about that. There might there might be some people that might have some insight, so it'd be kind of interesting to know about that. Because I'm honestly curious, because that's the only thing I could explain. When it comes to something like that, there's no real reason for it unless someone's renting it out for a party. Which they must got some fuck you money, for that to be the case. So maybe some rich, maybe is it some Nike executive party? Is it Portland politicians having a little, but fucking Portland Spirit bizarre fucking party shit or whatever? What makes me kind of wonder, dude, because there's no reason beyond some shit like that why that is going on. Especially when there's a lot of drunk fucking winos on that fucking boat. So, I'll admit, I'd be kind of wanting to, join in on the party. I've always thought, because, I know, Rip, you're not fond of Texas, but, because my family lives in Texas, I mean, and some of them, weirdly enough, have, a little bit of a open, not really an open ear to, Greg Abbott, but they have met him before, and they've been at the governor's mansion, and have been invited there before and shit. So it's they have a possibility to reach out to him and shit. And honestly, I've never brought it up or pitched it to them, but I've always thought like, hey, honestly, just because I'm I kind of maybe cut from a different chaff, so to speak, but I'm a little political wonk. Do you think, the next time I'm down there, and Abbott happens to have like a little governor mansion party or some shit, y'all can get invited and I can go too? Because I'm not going to lie, dude. It would be so curious to be in the fucking hornet's nest. I've always thought about that because, like, I mean, even the last time I was there, visiting my family, they, were kind of, looking at like a family photo book and shit and had pictures of, my aunts, with him and shit, and all that. So it's like, I've always thought, like, it's obviously, probably ain't the last time. And from my understand, they've, had even, like other events they've been to where he's there and shit and talked to him and all that. So they obviously have like an olive branch there. So I've always thought, like, can I somehow really arrange something like that? And maybe it's just kind of fanciful a little bit, and I think it kind of is. But just the thought of that being a possibility just gets me all, ooh, like I'm just like, ooh, exciting. It's like, because I really want that in a weird fucked way, because it's fucked because, like, I'm kind of partaking in their weird little inside club. And obviously I'll have to kind of like be extra dressed. Like I can't be wearing this shirt, at a fucking party like that. You know what I mean? I can't even be wearing a hat like this. So it's one of those things where it's just like, I could blend in, but like I'm not gonna be hanging out with my family. You know what I mean? Like if somehow that ever were to be a thing, because honestly, weirdly enough, I kind of want to pretend I'm like just on my phone, maybe occasionally talking with people and stuff, but making it so I'm kind of recording maybe a little bit. But I don't know what the fucking laws are in Texas about that. Well, with how like America freedom, freedom, whatever the fuck. I'm sure they probably got some laissez ass fucking laws about that. So I could probably actually legally get away with it. I don't know. Like, so I might be okay on that, but I don't know. Like, but I do kind of want to, like, hey, like, what's your background? Like, I'm, I'm, visiting my family and they invited me to this. So figured, I establish a rapport, say hello and just kind of like, let the guard drop a little bit. Because, man, there is a part of me that would love to be in that situation where I can honestly like have an opportunity to talk to some motherfuckers like that. Some of the insiders and kind of hear how they feel about certain things. Because I could be like, well, I'm a blue collar guy myself, but I'm just kind of like, do my own thing, I'll make a decent enough living, blah, blah, blah. Just kind of, play up, certain things and shit. But, keep certain things very close to the chest and just kind of see how they feel about certain things. And then just be like, sure, of course. I totally understand that position, honestly. And, that's why, being able to be very friendly with the corporation, the manager, blah, 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 or whatever the fuck, I could spin some bullshit. It won't be that hard. But it'd be so fucking interesting at the same time. Because, man, that would be a trip. Straight up a fucking trip. Dude, I can imagine being at the fucking bar at the governor's mansion and having some of the most richest fucking whiskey. The richest of fucking scotch, dude. Dude, I probably would never have a fucking, whiskey like the shit they got there ever again. Like, it's one of those things where they probably got, like, some fucking, like, 1856, brewed in a fucking, ancient oak barrel fucking ass, whiskey or some shit, bro. Like, and it's like, it's on the house. So, it's on the house of Abbott. Or whatever. Dude. It's one of those things, man. Like, hey, if I got an opportunity, fuck it. I'll live like a king for a day just to kind of see how they fucking live. Because, hey, the scuttlebutt that I'll bring back, oh boy, I'm spilling beans. I will be spilling some beans, bro. I don't give a fuck. That's why I want to do it, because I don't give a shit. I'll spill some goddamn beans on them bitches. So that's why I kind of want to blend in a little bit, because, I'm a little bit of a chameleon like that. I mean, I got an ability to do that shit. Like, because especially when it comes to, like, more conservative leaning people, like, I've been able to kind of let their guard down a little bit because of, keeping certain things close to my chest, or at least of how I phrase those things. And weirdly enough, more often than not, they tend to kind of agree with a lot of my positions because of how I phrase certain things. But when it comes to, like, the top 10%, motherfuckers and shit, that's a whole different ball game. So I'm just going to be the, I'm just an open vessel for y'all to fucking say stuff to. I'm just a blue collar guy just doing my thing, saving money so I can, have a little small business myself. Yeah, I'm just going to be that guy. It ain't that hard. Especially considering that, they probably have, like, had stupid little, like, fucking, bullshit, little pomp and circumstance, little meetups and stuff for ad campaigns and, little, like, flavored up, little meetings with different people, small business owners, so they could be like, I'm part of the working man, bullshit. So I get how these motherfuckers work. Like, I mean, it's just about being in that horn sense. That's a whole different ball game. But you know what? I kind of embrace it. That's why I want that a little bit. That's why I want to ask, next time I happen to talk with them, be like, do you still have any contact with Abbott? Because if so, like, do you think maybe you could see if you can join in the next meeting the next time I happen to be down there? Because I would love to check it out. I mean, I'll deadass be honest with them, because that's the truth. Because it's so fucking weird that I honestly do have, like, a strange, like, open door to that, possibly. I mean, because frankly, maybe that was like a one and done thing when they, hung out the first time with him, but I guarantee you still got contact with him. Maybe not by phone number, but at least by email or something. So, I don't know. It's just an open door that I would love to take advantage of at some point. Because I think it would be, weirdly enough, kind of fun to, maybe hang out and chat with some of them. And honestly, maybe, and to weave, like, some kind of progressive thought into them about certain things, and maybe, like, let that seed be planted. I don't think they would give a fuck about anything I'm saying, because I'm just like some plebeian, but I don't know, like, I would love to hear what their perspectives are about certain things. And so now Texas, when it comes to energy grid, ain't exactly fucking great, when it comes to certain things. So maybe it'll be like, let's say it's like, oh, well, the federal government, tends to be a little bit too overrelation about how we address energy, and it's because states and blah, 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 whatever, some shit like that. I could pitch like, well, wouldn't the Texas, energy grid maybe fair by, investing, into mass retrofitting on making sure when these random freezes happen, because if it's happened in the past and there's been a lot of struggle and a lot of problems, and despite your people of the state coming together and helping each other out, shit like that, yada yada. Like, again, I'm pitching it in the way that they would be like, so, because granted, a lot of that ain't true, but again, you gotta have to phrase it in a way where you can butter it up a little and say, like, wouldn't, like, maybe certain immediate, like, aspects that can also be palatable to maybe some of the more, like, moderate / Democrat side of the, state when it comes to certain renewable aspects, because this state has, plethora of sun that loves to shine all over the great state, Texas. One there, it'd be good to invest in, like, at least, a few, good spots where, you can have a few solar fields and just set a shop and bada bing, bada boom. You got, like, infinite energy for most of the year. They just have, like, different, like, power plants basically just be power storages, and the energy grid kind of solves itself kind of issue. And in a weird way, the Texas energy grid can actually still be separate from the rest of the country, from the east-western energy grids, which I still think is stupid, but like at least, they could be more self-sufficient in that way as a state. But they still have to retrofit a lot of their energy grid to handle a lot of these heat waves and these freezes that happen sometimes in the winter. Because now that's becoming a reoccurring problem, and they got to adapt to that. And a lot of investment and the money and that type of shit, I think, can come back, to benefit that state if they want to maintain that separate energy grid weird bullshit and not integrate with the rest of the nation, whether via the east or the west, energy grid. Like, then do that. I mean, I think that'd be a great idea, even if you have to like slightly increase taxes by like 1%, amongst the entire, like state tax bracket or some shit. Then hey, I mean, everyone's pitching into a long-term benefit when it comes to the energy that's used in the state. I mean, even in a capitalistic perspective, I think there's a pitch for it, but that's kind of another reason why I think it would be so interesting to be in like their little parties and just hearing their weird little interpolitics of how they feel about shit, because then it wouldn't framed in a way that they think money then maybe the seed could be planted in a way. And but again, I'm a plebeian, they wouldn't give a fuck about that, but who knows, maybe some of them might already have that in mind and maybe actually are trying to maybe potentially pitch that, when it comes to the company or whatever the fuck. I mean, who knows? It'd be interesting to find out. That's why being the hornet's nest to me is just like, ooh, because the, possibilities of like, different things that could be talked about, or just in general, hearing what these people have to say, politicians, businessmen, businesswomen, shit alike. It'd be so interesting to hear what they have to say. Because I guarantee you a lot of the shit that they're going to say, are a lot more honest in comparison to what they tell people publicly. And that I want to spill the beans on, especially. Fuck all this like butter up, conversation shit like I'm just talking about. That's the shit I would love to fucking keep my ear close to what they're having to say. That's what I want to know. What's the more honest approach to how they feel about like the broader proletariat when it comes to shit like this? When it comes to economics and social issues and all sort of shit, like in geopolitics even, like, how they feel about these things, when it comes down to the brass tacks. That's what I want to know, because they're going to be way more fucking honest, in those little fucking get-togethers, more so than when they're saying shit on like some CNN interview and shit. So, I don't know. Next, I mean, to bring it full circle, next time I talk to my aunt in Texas, like, I'm going to ask if she still kind of has an olive branch to that, because I kind of want to see if I can, like, interweave, a plan to maybe be in the inner circle almost in a weird way, at least for the state of Texas. Because I guess, honestly, in a way, they kind of can get an idea about, like, maybe how Republicans in these different states kind of, feel about shit. And we know how Greg Abbott is a fucking piece of shit, honestly, arguably even worse than DeSantis or, like, governor of Oklahoma and shit. Like, he's probably the worst of the worst. So if I'm kind of getting a vibe about how he is versus, like, the rest of these Republican governors and how they run their states, then, I can at least say best case scenario, here's, like, the minimal of what they're probably doing kind of shit. Honestly, it will give me a good bearing on, like, what the real, honest shit is and how they feel about these things, which I guarantee you the fundamental root is money. Guarantee you the root of it, fundamentally, no matter the fuck what's going to be that. Really enough, I wouldn't be surprised if, like, I happen to talk about Greg Abbott, but, like, so how do you feel about, like, a lot of these news medias? Because I live in Portland and seen articles how they, view and treat you, sir. Like, what's, like, I'm just an average, American, myself, sir, and I just want to honestly know, it's like, what do you really feel about these issues? Like, because, me personally, I don't think, it's a good idea to have, like, barbed wire on the river and stuff, but I heard, like, what's your honest position about these things? I want to know, because I want to, like, kind of feel a reassurance or something. And I guarantee it's probably going to be a line fuck anyway. And like I said, because I'd be the plebeian in the room. or I guess in the mansion in this case. But still, I don't know. It's a party, right? They'll probably have liquid courage in them. They might be more honest than they really are. But in a lot of ways, that's why I just would rather eavesdrop about certain things. Because I feel like that's where I'm going to really hear their fucking honest answers. They might lie in my face, but give them enough time, walk off a little bit, maybe like casually walk by them, check my phone, pretend I'm on my phone, and then just eavesdrop on them. And, because I happen to hear a, topic they're saying that's tangential to what I was asking from earlier, like 5 minutes ago or something. That's what I'm going to, oh man. All right. I'm definitely going to have to just see if I can actually try to kind of, push that a little bit. Maybe ask my mom about that, because, she's way more in contact with her sisters more than I am. So, maybe she can, like, give me the scuttlebutt about that. Because I want to, man. I would love to do that shit so bad. The more I'm thinking about this, the more I fucking want it so much, dude. Because, I'm a little chameleon. I know how I can raise them up. I've have plenty of conservatives up, even in my own little hometown, and when it comes to shit, and I've had pretty good rapport and stuff. So it's not that hard. So it's just one of those things where it's like, I think I could see a pretty decent positive outcome out of something like that. Of course, I could go full anarchist and be like, give me your most expensive, highest percentile alcohol, and then like hide that, rip a fucking blazer jacket, arm sleeve, and shove it in the bottle and light it up and be like, burn it down. But, I think I would probably never be around ever again. So that'd not be a good idea. So I'll just be a good little tooty shoes boy. Butter them up and just see what they have to say about things. Honestly, weirdly enough, I wouldn't be shocked if they would have Democrats there too. Because I know, like, even for here in Oregon, when it comes to the state politics here, a lot of them tend to kind of like to collaborate with Republicans around here. Because my old congressman, Kurt Schrader, shockingly, oh my God, so crazily endorsed Rene Gonzalez, who is a Republican in the city council of Portland. And he's been a worthless fucking shitbag who's pretty much there to maximize his own coffers, so he's a fuckbag. But shocker. Yeah, and I think Ted Wheeler also is kind of a little fond of him, but I'm pretty sure we don't have to deal with Ted Wheeler anymore, at least, after this election, but I'm not 100% sure. I know Rip would know a little more about that than I would. But I'm sick of these fucking, like, Republicans and Democrats, endorsing each other and just like going full swing and with their honesty about this shit. That's why I like, when it comes to my political advocacy, it comes from like a blue collar perspective and shit. It's kind of like the motif of like, a lot of my overlap when it comes to this shit, because like none of these politicians give a fuck, about any of like, the average, person's, well-being and their outcome and shit. They're looking to fucking like scalp you for whatever you're worth, so they can maximize their coffers, because they're a bunch of fat cats. And at the end of the day, that's where my politics fucking lie. I mean, and neither party is a representative of that shit. Way back in the day, like in the early, iterations to the labor movement, like they were endorsing, different, Republican politicians, because back in the day, back into like the 1880s, 90s, etc., like the Republican Party was the more left-leaning party back in the day, especially well back then. And like at that time, a lot of them even sold out a lot of the labor movement back then as well. And pretty much it was one of the first lessons the labor movement learned at that time, saying like, oh shit, the politician ain't our fucking friend. We got to fucking, like fight for our own selves and like, find, like, and, make us the politicians, in the system instead. And like at least do this locally and shit and go from there. And that's where the Progressive Party initially established itself, because even in Oregon, like some of the earliest like politicians, were either Democrats or like Dixie style Democrats or Republicans or part of the Progressive Party, at least, at that time, because they were one of the third parties at that time. And and pretty much, the reason why that party, was established is because they were a byproduct of like that labor movement where they're like, we can't trust the current politicians in our system and establishment. We gotta make these politicians, ourselves and be those motherfuckers, basically. I mean, that was one of the first fucking lessons, and it's like we unlearned that at this point. Yes, I see you waving. Hello. You just got me in the red. I just had to at least get it out. What's the blue collar rant? Sometimes it's needed out there, especially more than ever these days. I'm thinking maybe may or may not be Tuesday, but definitely Wednesday for sure. Like I might go out, to one of these local friend of mine that are going on strike right now in my area, and maybe stream a little bit of their strike. And then add another picket sign to my slow collection of picket signs. I got one right there for the UAW from from like a year and a half, 2 years back. Not the only strike I partook in, but at least the one where I was able to at least collect a little memory from it. It's good enjoying life. Well, I mean, I'm 27, so I mean, it's like shit. I mean, if there's like a time more than ever, especially when I got the fucking body for it, kind of maximize that shit. Especially when sacrificing a lot of your time for work, especially that don't fucking respect you or give you your proper fucking dues and shit. It's like. It's in a way a lot more worth it, especially not just for the memories and experiences and shit like that alone, but just like for, just actualizing yourself and shit. Because last weekend, last Monday, like when I went to the mountains at Saddle Mountain and then went to Seaside in Oregon, and dipped myself in the fucking ocean and shit for, a little bit. The mental revitalization and the fucking like reset that I had mentally that day was like just something for me. Like it's kind of hard to explain, honestly. Like it was like my little Zazen moment, like legit, where like I had a little beer in hand, and I was like listening a little bit, missing my phone. I was like, you know what? I was waist deep in this cold, frigid fucking water in the Pacific, and I was like, you know what? I just want to dive my whole body in it, and I just kind of thought, fuck it, yeah. Put everything in my hand, took my shirt off, and just like boop, just dipped in there. Fucking wave hit me, and I just like splashed out. And I was like, "Oh my god, I fucking need that!" But holy shit, now I'm cold as fuck. So it's like eventually, slowly but surely, checked my way back and just felt resetted in a way. Like there was like a fucking reset on that shit. It's like the Pacific Ocean goddess herself or some shit, bro. Like just fucking like. Reset me, dude. Like I don't know, not even a spiritual person, but I just kind of feel that way sometimes because that fucking ocean was calling me for a while, and it feels so nice to just like feel rejuvenated from that. I mean, still got my stresses and shit in life and stuff like that, but I mean, fuck. I mean, like having something like that, and because I called in for work that day because I was supposed to work that day, but I was like, you know what? Hiking with the boys, like all 5 of us together, like, our core group of friends since high school and shit, at least one of them since middle school, it's like, no, I ain't missing this opportunity. Fuck this shit. I'm calling in. Fuck this. Especially lately, with how work has been, it's like, I don't want to deal with this shit no more. So, like, I mean, fuck it. I'm just going to call in, just enjoy my life and give it a couple days, like share the scuttlebutt of my adventures, with, my friends and stuff, my coworkers, and at least because I kind of preemptively told them about these type of things, but, I could trust them to, make sure that the whole loose lips sink ships kind of thing, stays true. And they've kept to that. Besides, like, if I call in, I call in. Like, I mean, whatever I do beyond that is none of their fucking business. So I'll just tell them that happened on my actual days off, not the days I called in. Because I also went to, like, a whole punk show, like a little block party called the Volume Bomb Block Party. And it was just the 7th year that it went on. And I called in for that day last Saturday. Well, not this last Saturday, but, the week before this one. And, like, I ain't missing that shit. Went to it last year and ain't missing this year. So called in for that shit, and, like, it's because, again, it's one of those things where it's like, those type of things, honestly, frankly, matter way fucking more than, like, grinding your fucking ass like a donkey for a fucking, job that, gives you fucking, piss poor appreciation for your shit. I mean, honestly, it's like when it comes to your fucking labor. I mean, like I said, to bring it back in the circle of, like, blue collar politics, that's where it comes down to for me. I mean, because, like, at the end of the day, like, when the broader, like, direct action of the average worker, comes together, for a strong, position of saying, hey, we like to have a little bit of the fucking pie that we fucking bake and make for you motherfuckers and shit, and, make that strong stand. That is way more stronger, way more valuable of a fucking, like, stand, more so than, like, oh, go vote for this person, go vote for that, go sit in the ballot box and go vote. It's like, yeah, look, I'm not even saying don't do that. Go ahead, vote your conscience, do what you want on that shit. I don't care. I'm someone who votes. I got vote by mail, so I got plenty of time if I really decide if I want to vote on someone or not. Even if I leave shit blank, that won't discard the entire ballot. So, it's whatever. Like, sometimes I do leave certain things blank. Because honestly, sometimes it's really only one person. So, and if I don't like that person, I'm just going to leave it blank. Or maybe write in something else or some shit, It's like, so it's one of those things where that won't discard the whole ballot, at least in the state of Oregon. But still, it's like, either way, do what do you want with that? But, like, where's the, like, work of being organizing and, like, getting people together on, like, a, to do some more broader direct action, even if it's just, like, visiting a strike line, or, like, maybe, donating to, like, a union fund or some shit, or, like, some other, like, nonprofit or whatever the fuck. Like, there's ways to do it without having to, like, sacrifice, certain shit or whatever the fuck. It's like on a day off, if there happens to be a local strike, go check it out, go visit it, go talk with them and shit. Actually, I was reading the group chat. I know Rips would back me on this. Like, I was reading the group chat earlier, and our friend Logan, he happened to stop, and check out a new season's labor strike, and was talking with them, and, talked to fucking blue collar union workers on strike. Didn't cross the picket line and chatted it up. Was hanging out with them, not, like, overtly partaking in the strike line, but just talking with them, and learn. And from what it sounds like, at least, I didn't read all of it, but from what it sounds like, he learned a lot of shit, and, kind of, I think kind of came back from it realizing that, like, yeah, there's strong value in what is going on right there, because he, saw it firsthand, decided to talk with him and shit. And I don't know if I've had an influence in maybe how he, views these type of things, but I kind of like to think I have a little bit, because I never took him along with a strike line before necessarily. I've taken Tyler and Harley before, two other friends of ours, and but beyond that, I haven't taken anyone else. So to kind of see that even on his own time, he decided to, just on a day off or just on a day that he's not doing much, decided to just chat with them and hang out with them and shit, and like that. It's shit like that is what counts. Like, that is like, I don't know. I don't think Logan realized it, but that is, like, was more valuable than I think he thinks, when it comes to shit like that. Just not only as an experience, but also as a learning opportunity. And, hey, it's a show of solidarity as well. I mean, I don't think he realizes, the value of something like that. Because even if don't chat with them and you just kind of hang out and just sit with them, basically. I mean, even if they don't say anything to you, if they could just see that hey, you're saying solidarity, ain't saying anything else, but hey, they ain't crossed the picket line, they ain't doing nothing, just chilling with us, so fuck it, more numbers. Like, I mean, if they could kind of see that you're hanging with them and joining that line a little bit, they ain't gonna care. Because I mean, like when I was going to the UAW strikes, I went there at least 3 different times. Once I streamed it, the second time I was on my own, and the third time I brought my friends. Like, the time I brought my friends, we weren't really talking with the union strikers and shit or anything. They didn't approach us or nothing. But I just brought me and my friends, and we're just hanging out. I had my Bluetooth speaker, play some music, and had a couple brewskis, and just kind of chilling with them. And they didn't care. They were just hanging out, and eventually, we, looked at the last bus, to get back home safely and all that shit. And we took that, once we had to, but beyond that, they were just chilling with us. And I think a lot of them recognized me because I was already there the last couple times anyway. So they were like, oh, this is his buddies. You mentioned that once, and those are his buddies, so whatever. So, I mean, it's just one of those things where it's like, blue collar workers, blue collar people recognize that solidarity, even if it's just like, hey, showing up, asking questions, hanging out with them, just showing up, not even saying anything to them, or just like, maybe, doing a little honk as you drive by and doing a little fist stuff like this or some shit, or walking by and saying, fucking hey, keep up the fight, stuff like that as you walk by, and like, because those little things do fucking count. Like, cause I mean, at the very end of the day, that's a morale booster. That's like a little boost of morale right there. I mean, because like more numbers, more people, even if they're driving by or walking by, supporting shit like that, that's a morale booster, and it just shows that hey, you ain't alone. And to have a more stronger organization to shit like that would make these things a lot more impactful. And it's not like it ain't in the works either. Like Sean Fannin and Sean O'Brien, like both of them with the Teamsters and UAW, both of them, in 2028 on May Day, are looking to do a massive general strike. If the Teamsters being over 1 million fucking members, and then with the UAW being one of the, like, at least, like, I think top 10 largest unions in the country for fucking sure, like, I mean, that would make such a massive impact. And that ain't the only unions on board with this either. There's a lot of national and local regional unions that are on board with this shit, and that would make some massive swings. So the action and mobility is in the works, and the thing is, it's a slow boil. I think a lot of people tend to be kind of very impatient about shit like this, and I think kind of look to electoralism because it's like a guaranteed timely thing. But the thing is, sometimes certain shit just takes a slow burn, and the date for it is never completely solidified always. But given enough momentum, you can make a date. And Sean Fannin and O'Brien, both of the fucking, powerhouse Irish bulldogs, Sean and Sean, like both of those motherfuckers, are gearing up for this shit and getting any union and any motherfucker that can be on board of this and wants to join in with it. Shit, even non-union workers, they, open up the idea of, to embrace it. Because not only is that just a solidarity thing, like I said from before, but it's also recruiting opportunities. To get more people into the union too. So it's a big, plan, but that's why it's going to take a while. That's why it's, scheduled for 2028, not next year or 2026 or any other year, because 2028 is also an election year. And seeing how things are so far electorally panning out, Kamala would have to be dealing with that shit. And Sean Fannin was at the DNC too, and she knows, I guarantee you, knows that he's planning this. So she better fucking realize that and either do some shit that, like, especially pass the PRO Act, or something. Like, she better fucking, mind her P's and Q's about that, because if she does fuck all, then that's going to be really big. But if she does a lot of shit to kind of, like, satisfy workers in all ways, then it might not really be that big. But that's up for her to decide. Or Trump, depending if he wins, which I hope not, but I don't know. It's like, either way, both of them are going to have to answer to it. Or at least one or the other, depending who wins. All breaks loose if he wins. Yeah, I agree with that. But at the same time, I think, there will be some hell breaking loose if Kamala wins. Because I don't have Trump derangement syndrome, I have Trump supporter derangement syndrome. And those are the motherfuckers I worry about a little bit. Like, because there are going to be some freaky deaky motherfuckers, who are legit, like, cult brain rotted beyond saving, that are going to be a little militant about these things. I think, honestly, that energy is, more niche now, but the ones that are still gung-ho about that, especially the more, like, younger ones and shit, like Gen X age and whatever, like, I mean, look what happened when Trump almost got assassinated. Like, that kid was a far right Republican guy, like Thomas Crooks. Like, I mean, they ain't afraid to even go after Trump to a certain extent, but I think enough of them are loyal about it. I don't know, like, that's why I have Trump supporter derangement syndrome. Like, they're the ones I kind of freak the fuck out about a little bit because they're unhinged. I think either way, we're going to have to deal with those fuckers, and that ain't going to look pretty one way or the other. Just straight up. Well, not hell per se, but social disorder. Yeah. I mean, like, I will say this. I don't think full-on civil war is going to happen. I know some people meme that, and some people genuinely think it's going to happen, but I don't think it's going to happen. I think there will be a lot of social unrest, and I think, some vigilante-style people, mostly on the right, are going to take advantage of that. But, I mean, it's, like, at the end of the day, like, the country ain't breaking up and shit. Because honestly, things are socially unstable for sure to a degree. But like I said, that's why I want to try to have people organize instead of fucking get whipped up in that shit. Because, like, what has this electoralistic politics have done for us at this point? It's like, if you, hey, partake in it all you want. Like I said, I don't give a shit. But, like, there's still, like, that's a yearly thing. And we all know the yearly cycles and all that. So it's like, what's the work that we're doing in between all this shit? That's where I prioritize shit. Especially when it comes to direct action. Because even during the electoral cycles, we could be doing shit like that. So, there's a lot of things, it's a big fucking list. But we can at least start somewhere. And I think at least getting, the bigger piece of the pie, especially when it comes to workers and the broader proletariat, like, in the broader working class, like, I think that's a start. Because then at that point, we can at least start getting some better social economic mobility and more of an economic voice. And we can use that to our, to the broader advantage. Even if you get, like, some wannabe, fucking temporary embarrassed billionaires or whatever the fuck, you'll get those people in the mix of things. But shit, a lot of these people aren't going to fucking forget what they were fucking breaking their goddamn back for. Because I sure shit won't. The electoral college is undemocratic and absolutely needs to be abolished, and I agree on that. Absolutely. And honestly, that could be a good argument, to at least as an electoral element to the blue collar, politics. That could be a good way to intertwine, both of those shit. Like, because, when there's enough, I think of, like, money kind of backed into an organization or organizing like this, then we could start looking at a Labor Party, and that could definitely be, like, a number one issue. I do think that could be, like, one of the, like, top 5, top 10, policy, like, positions that the party represents at that point. And because then, because once we at least could get, like, some organization to at least have enough money to maybe get, like, a few of these politicians, maybe the squad, at least at minimal, or, like, even maybe some politicians who, like, or maybe get someone like Sean Fain or Sean Barton, like, these different individuals to eventually run for, like, Congress seats, but run via this type of party. But because at that point, they would have the money for it. And then obviously their own unions are probably going to endorse this shit anyway, but there's going to be a lot of money organization backing that. and they can have like, you know, because if these fucking corporations are gonna have all these super PACs, then we can have PACs ourselves. But we need the money in an organization to fucking get that shit started, right? So we gotta start somewhere. And frankly, that's where my broader politics has always been about. Like, I mean, I've never been like a fuck voting, fuck electoralism kind of guy. I just wanted to actually have a voice of, you know, where we're fucking represented there, you know, and we're not right now. We haven't been for a long fucking time. You know, it's like, and honestly, I'm glad Tim Walz is VP for Kamala because I think that is a strong edge for her, and I think there is like, and I'm cautiously optimistic about her, but I'm not 100% on board, especially considering how, like, you know, a lot of things about her record in the past. Because honestly, there's a lot of stuff that I think people overlook sometimes about her, where I'm just like, what the fuck, like. She's certainly no friend of the blue collar worker and no friend of ours, you know, honestly, when it comes to shit. And I have a odd suspicion she's gonna be two-faced as fuck. So I don't know, like, I'm cautiously optimistic. Maybe Tim Walz is gonna be able to kind of check her a little bit. So I just kind of want to see what she has to do. I want to see what she does. Like, I mean, weirdly enough, she has an opportunity to do it now. She's VP. She's in power. She could do shit right now. I mean, so if she can at least prove it, you know, at least at the barest minimal, some, you know, to get some shit done, even maybe even as a VP, just kind of like, you know, even show that if there's, you know, like authority that undermines, you know, what is best for the average person, she can flex that shit, because that would be good. It's, you know, honestly, you know, when it, like, so I don't know. It's one of those things where I want to, like, you know, be a little bit more optimistic, but it's just like right now, she's kind of has to prove it to me a little bit. The thing is, there's a case for it. And like I said, at the end of the day, vote conscious, but, you know, that's why, you know, I want to try to get, like, at least some sort of an organized challenge against the broader system. And it is possible. Like, it's not like these things aren't in the works. It's just that, you know, I think, you know, more people need to know that these things are happening, because it's not like, you know, just some fairy tale. It's not like, you know, some radical insane shit that, you know, it's just been saying by some online commie theorists or whatever, you know what I mean? Like, I mean, these things are in the works to a certain extent. So it's just about, like, get more people to know that it is a thing, and just get fucking, you know, like, just get more organization to it, and get people to focus more on that idea. You know, at the end of the day, when it comes to the electoral cycles, vote conscious, do what you gotta do, whatever, that's fine. But, you know, like, again, because we gotta start somewhere, and there could be opportunities with that shit. Because, you know, even state by state, even if we have a national, like, you know, workers' party, you know, in the country, state by state, we can even have, you know, more specific issues, like making Oregon an open primary state on top of the electoral college abolition movement. You know, it's like we could do shit like that. And also, the whole abolition of electoral college is a very popular idea. We could galvanize a lot of people into an idea like that. So, I mean, it's not like it's not impossible. But the organization and the money needs to be there, and to establish, like, a workers' PAC or something, like WPAC, the workers' PAC, you know, like, or some shit. Like, I mean, there needs to be something to help, you know, put some money into, to put, you know, the workers and the average, you know, person's foot in the door in this shit, to actually challenge this shit and be separate, you know, from this type of stuff. Like, completely. Take advantage of their fucking rules while they're still there. Having these super PACs and a lot of fuck you money being put into all this shit to, like, put endless, you know, fucking, you know, checks into these politicians shit. Like, you know, play their fucking game while we got a chance to take advantage of it. And when we got the power, then change the fucking rules. But in the meantime, take advantage of the fucking, you know, game and the rules that they set out, because it ain't possible. It's hard, and it is a long, hard struggle for it, and it's a slow boil. But it ain't possible. It is doable. I also kind of missed a couple comments, so hold on. Yeah. Or start with the filibuster. Yeah, well, I mean, in a weird way, I'm kind of mixed on the filibuster. I honestly want the filibuster to go back into the traditional format of what it is. I want to reform it pretty much back to its original format, where a politician, if they're filibustering, literally have to be in the halls of Congress, not shutting the fuck up for as long as they can filibuster. And as soon as they stop, filibuster done. Like, I mean, they literally have to be there. Like, if they want to filibuster for multiple days, get some coffee. You better have a 6-pack of coffee on standby, bitch. You know what I mean? Like, get it the OG way, dude. I want the filibuster to go back in the old days. If a politician wants to filibuster, they have to be in the fucking Senate or the hall or whatever the fuck and not shut the fuck up. As soon as they stop talking for more than like 10 seconds outside of maybe taking a sip of coffee or whatever, or some water, then it ends. Lost the opportunity, bitch. Go back to the OG status with that shit. Reestablish the old rules on the filibuster. I'll be happy. Because if these politicians want to filibuster, then make a filibuster. I want to see them sleep deprived of fucking bags in their eyes, or their eyes look like this, or where we can see the real demon in them. Sleep deprived 36 hours in, like, just fucking mumbling off, you know, delirious. Make them fucking do it. They're public servants. Servants. We are their boss. Like, so make them, like, act like it. We want to fucking work us like donkeys, we work them like donkeys. Oops. Texas, you hear about their last scandal? Criminal attorney general pushed a police crackdown on civil rights organizations. I kind of heard something about that, but I haven't read up too much on it. Got super fascist. Houston also like the shitty mayor who's undoing the little progress it did make. Oh man, is Houston going to shit again? God damn it. I bet a lot of conservatives in Houston are like, yeah, we're bringing it back on track. Our Texas blue people are fucking delusional. Texas is going the way of Florida, and they think they can vote harder. That's my thing. A lot of people are coping about like Texas turning purple at best, or like at worst, and like, you know, blue at best. And it's like, no, it's not. Like at this rate, it is a locked red state. Like, yeah, maybe you got some blue bubbles, but even then they're losing fucking traction. Like, instead of fucking forgetting that, you know, these Democrats and these progressives live in this fucking state, and maybe you should, you know, like, consider their fucking voice, you know, like invest in the fucking state. This delusional coping ain't gonna work. And even with this whole, like, Kamala libbed up fucking train going on right now, that's losing traction. That's why I'm even way more cautious about her ass more than ever now, because, like, there was this whole relief, like, oh, thank God I ain't buying no more. But nowadays, it's like, it's neck and neck again. And honestly, at least it's a better outcome. But still, it's like, I mean, this is why, you know, there needs to be an extra focus on top of this shit. I mean, realistically, this type of thing should be, in a way, kind of secondary. That doesn't mean you don't prioritize it, but make it like the second most priority at that point. Because, like, there needs to be, like, a major prioritization of organizing, you know, against this bullshit, you know, like, you know, as the number one priority. And there are ways to do it, including, you know, in an electoral sense. But it's just like a lot of these people that want to cope just want to think that we live in like this weird binary bubble. And it's like, no, we don't. Like it's not like there's a third way kind of weird meme about it, you know, or whatever, but it's just like, it's one of those things where it's like, there's an alternative where you could use the rules of the game, so to speak, electorally and otherwise, against this bullshit. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's like it never wants to be considered, at least on the online sphere of things. It's like, I mean, because when I talk to people on the ground at the different bars to go to, at, you know, the shows that I go to, you know, just hanging out, you know, like with different people and stuff, like it's a whole different dynamic. You know, and it seems like there's a compatibility and a way to organize and galvanize and hype these people up into something that they could be, you know, feel inspired about again. But there ain't nothing there. It's almost like they kind of are waiting for like something to be established to where it's like, hey, I have something to look up to. Because this whole binary, like Dem versus blue, or like Dem versus Republicans, red versus blue bullshit. A lot of people realize they ain't working for them anymore, even if they still partake in as the little political football game that they do and shit. It's like because a lot of people are just doing it off of vibes at this point, because they've lost the passion of the idea of like having something to vote for, not just doing it for vibes, because that's pretty much all they got to vote for at this point. It's just vibes. Who's got better vibes? A lot of people, feel like Kamal's got better vibes, but I feel like it's kind of starting to wear off a lot. Not entirely, but it's kind of getting there a little. And I don't think it will completely go away, but Kamal's got like some shit to do in order to kind of keep that momentum up. And so far, even with that CNN interview with Tim Walz and shit, I was kind of like looking at that a little bit that happened, I think, last week. There was even libs out there that were like, ooh. Because like Kamal did not look good. I mean, Tim Walz looked all right, but he just, honestly, even he was not answering questions like straightforwardly. Because the journalist, I don't know who the fuck she was, but she was asking him, being like, hey, you were kind of lying about like your past, criminal record about, being drunk with DUI and stuff like that. And he just deflected from the fucking question and talked about his neurodivergent son, being bullied by a bunch of Republican psychos, which, look, I get that, but I honestly had to think about this, a couple nights ago, where it's like, look, a politician's kid or their kid in 99.9% of the time, unless they're a politician themselves, like Don Jr. or some shit, or whatever the fuck, unless they're in that fucking, status, then leave them out of it. And I honestly include the parents too when it comes to that shit, unless like it happens to be brought because like, his kid, got fucking, pretty much like because he cried and got like overwhelmed at, the happiness and joy of his, father being VP and whatever the fuck, like whatever, who cares, it's like, but even he is still bringing it up. His own dad's like, oh, well, yeah, that happened. It's like, yeah, it happened. It sucks. And, fuck those pieces of shit. But it's like, dude, you're not answering the question. You can't use that as a way to cop out of a fucking question, bro. I mean, now I'm starting to kind of question him a little bit because of things like that. It's like, what, you can't fucking just answer the question? I mean, because that shit happened a long time ago. You could just say that, yeah, it was a mistake that I did, and I regret that decision that I did. And instead of, taking a taxi or just like, wait until I sobered up a little bit, before I left or whatever, like he could have answered that in a way that did not deflect for the question or anything. But no, he couldn't even do it. It's like, bro, and that wasn't the first time either. That's not the notable, that's one of the more notable things for me that I noticed. But there's a few other times where he just did not answer questions. Like, what the fuck, bro? You're pretty base as fuck as a governor, but now I'm starting to question you now that you're a national politician. Is this whole, like, power starting to get to your head already, even though you're not even a VP yet? It's like, now I'm starting to question him now because he couldn't even answer fucking questions. That makes me a little skeptical about him now. And I don't want to. Because, I mean, his record as a governor, as a politician, is fucking great. There's a lot of things as a governor he did was fucking amazing. But it's like, what the fuck are you doing not even able to answer a straightforward question? A few of them at that. It's like, bro. They're not even hard questions. Yeah, maybe they're a little personal, but you can't deflect, from that shit and say, oh, but my son, though. It's like, yeah, we get it. And it's horrible, but leave your son out of it. He's not a politically active person. He's not active on social media and shit, so leave him out of it. It's bad enough that these Republicans were fucking on this, or at least, a lot of people on the Republican side of things and on the right were fucking on his ass and insulting him and all sorts of shit. That's already bad enough as it is. Like, leave him out of it. It's like, what? It's bad enough that they're doing it. Why are you doing it? And you're his dad, bro. It's like, what the fuck? And honestly, made me legit lose some respect points to Tim Walz. It's like, why are you doing that, man? And he did it a few times, too. That's what gets my goat. It's like, if it did it once, sure, whatever. But he did it a bunch of different times. It's like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? You can't just use that as a cop-out, man. If honestly, it's just like it's like what are you? Is he just like Is he just an exceptional pawn to be used politically, not just for these far right pieces of shit, but even for you? Do you like what the fuck, dude? It's like leave him out of it. Because that whole interview, oh shit, because the whole interview, I literally like accidentally tapped one thing and catastrophe happened. Are we serious? I barely tapped the thing and just like, but anyway, but as I was saying, it's like, you know, what was I even? God damn it, whatever. That I lost my train of thought. Well, not completely, like, cause because this whole thing about like these Republicans fucking going off on his ass, and you're continuously bringing up, and even though he's not a politically active person, not like active on social media and stuff like that. In fact, probably the inverse, and yet you're bringing it up after all this different time just because of what? Because the Republicans fucked on him and shit. Because like I said, that's horrible, but you're kind of bringing up that kind of trauma, and more of that, as a problem, not only on the national media of things, but, consistently having it be, a recurring issue. And especially for his son being autistic and neurodivergent, I would know. It's like, if that show is constantly being brought up over and over again, even by my own fucking dad, I would have a problem with that. It's like I'm more high functioning. I know his son isn't as much, but that's okay. That's how he is, but that's fine. But still, it's like, why are you continuously bringing that up? And honestly, kind of like, continue to bring up some trauma that he had to deal with. I mean, it's like because he, it's pretty much like making what normally would have been a good moment, and yeah, there was like a little bad hiccup because people were scum shit, basically. It could have just been that, but you kept bringing it up over and over and over again. I think it was at least brought up 4 different times in that whole interview on CNN show with Kamala. It's like, because even libs are, not, saying that, it didn't look at it like good at all for any of them. So it's like, I don't know, like this whole energy around them ain't looking good at this point. And it's even making me question Waltz at this point, and I don't want to, because I kind of like the guy. I like him way more than Kamala. I honestly wish his ass was fucking vice, or fucking president as a nominee. I'd rather he be like the main motherfucker, but Kamala's still vice president. I kind of wish that would be the case, but no. Either way, I'm sure it wouldn't be any different, but still, it's just like I just kind of wish that he would not be like losing my respect, honestly, with shit like that. Because I would not want this to be continuously brought up if I was his kid. I want him to shut up about it. It's like, look, you can bring it up once during that interview, but can you just not bring it up? I don't want to be reminded of it. I just want that to be a good memory for me because I still remember that fondly, but, I don't want it to be reminded to me over and over again because it ain't gonna, like, I'm not going to remember it for that fond memory. It's just going to be, this, oh, he's crying, but like it probably is going to make him feel more insecure. It's like, and it just feels scummy for that. So I don't know. I just kind of wish that he just would just fucking have just been straightforward with his shit, because he really did seem more like a straightforward kind of like cut the bullshit kind of guy. But at this point, it doesn't really seem like that. I don't know. Probably give me a vote for. I'm hoping Walt's puts Sharon at least on some shit. I hope so too. I also hope he just he's more honest, and honestly, he realizes that maybe that interview he fucked up a little bit and just does better for it. Federal universal school meals would be a huge win. Oh, that would be fucking great. I'd love that, dude. Bishop Harris cut 1/10 of the percent of the military budget to fund universal school meals. Education outcomes would skyrocket. That definitely would. Honestly, imagine if she cut 2/10 of it, and then, or like, like a fifth of the military budget and just put it in strict education. And half of that went to universal school meals, and the other half just went into, equally, being distributed amongst every fucking school district. And they could do whatever they want with it. Well, they can't, they can only bump up, the budget and administrative stuff by 5%. And that's maximum. That's the only caveat, and that's it. They can fund everything else. Because, and honestly, even increase, the tax budget, for education and shit federally by like, I don't know, 2%. And then, just distribute that money every year, every fiscal year. I mean, honestly, that would do tremendous fucking wonders, when it comes to like education. Wouldn't solve everything, but again, one of the other motifs is you gotta start somewhere, and that's a start right there. Because even if we take a slight little bump, like 2% tax increase federally, for like maybe the top 50% of the tax bracket, shit or something like that. I mean, that isn't that much, So if we at least have like the budget that like a fifth of the military budget taking and using that, in tandem with that tax increase, that's a lot of money, and that would do a lot of fucking wonders. And also, depending on the conditions of the school, increased funding as necessary. Low-income schools get more money. Higher-income schools, just get the bare minimal, the bare standard. There you go. Boom.
Try to take a shit at the size of a fucking bottle. And it always comes out this end first. Oh, fuck.
I didn't necessarily need to know that, sir. That was unnecessary information, but holy shit, it apparently, like...
You know why it took an hour?
And apparently, you're literally... Did you literally get the shit kicked out of you? I guess literally.
No, I didn't, because there's a whole lot of it still in me. Well, it's out of me now.
Well, that's what I mean. You got the shit kicked... Your body kicked the shit out of you. His own body literally kicked the shit out of him. That's oh, dude, yeah, your body, kicked the shit out of you, and the shit kicked your ass on its way out. Oh my god, there we go, dude. What the fuck?
Oh,
body kicked your ass, and the shit kicked your ass on the way out. Damn, dude. Double whammy too, dude. Fuck. Oof. And honestly, arguably, I think you were gone for more than an hour. Dude, he's moaning in there, dude. Dude, his body kicked the shit out of him, and his shit kicked his ass on the way out. Like, he's kind of a little KO'd over there, I think. He came in like, like he literally got beat the fuck out. And I was just like groaning in pain over there, dude. Oh my god. Damn. Just fucking damn, bro. Oof. The shot of Florida is I get to laugh at him. And just enjoy the amusement of his suffering a little bit. I mean, if it was like him falling and like, busting his head or some shit, then I would actually be like concerned. But because it's just a shit situation, then it's like, I got the privilege to laugh at it. Because it happens to me too, mostly in the mornings. Which, I think I just need more fiber in my diet. I won't explain the deets, but it's just gnarly and it's just bad. It's gaseous, but that's about as far as I'm going with the details. Everything else is just bad. Bad. Well, hi. What the fuck? Fucking startled me. What? You know what? Doggo time. Also a good opportunity to take these cans. But I'm bringing the dog back. Hold up. Doggo. Hello, doggo. You sweet boy. Oh, you stretchy thing. You stretchy thingy. Don't be laying down. It makes it hard to pick you up. Yeah, get up. What? Well, that was easy. That was way easier than I expected. Yeah. Oof. Oh my god, you're heavy. Man. There we go. Pop. Pop, pop, pop. Wrap it up with a little bow with a little doggo. Big chunk boy. Well, what are we doing here? Oh my god, this dog is a goofball, bro. You're the one wanting attention. You're barking at me. Oh my god, you're just selecting bliss now. Oh, what a goof dog. What a goofy little pup. You shed, boy. You shed a lot. Bruh. Oh my god, you lazy bones. Holy shit. Oh. It's like we would. Hey. You ragdoll. Oh my god. Oh. Hey. Watch the feet. I see what you're doing with those feet. He was about to knock over this whole situation, and that was not going to be good. Look at his little baby. Oh. Look at that. Look at that little goof. Ah! What is this position that you're doing? Oh. I swear to God, if you start like freaking out and be like, I want to see you. I swear to God, bro. Oh, look at little smush boy. Yeah. Oh. He just flopped. He's now in flop status. No, don't be tipping.
Looks like a dead animal.
He ain't no carcass. He ain't no dead fucking critter. Excuse me.
I mean, the way he's just like.
It's just.
Wow.
Yeah, just plops. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, fuck it. I mean, oh my god. Oh my god, bro. Oh, now he's twitching like he's barely alive, too. Wow, just to add on to it. Wow. Okay. All right, dog. All right. You can go down there. Holy shit, dude, that doggo. Yo, grenade. Ugh. Need the weight that supports that. No. I don't need no, like, topsy-turvy bullshit. Oh, I can't wait for that new stand to come in. So I have to wait a few days. Especially because nothing happens on Sunday when it comes to shipping, so. Yeah. Well, this got a new one in the works. Don't be doing that right now, bro. Is that where you're barking earlier? You want some foo-foo? He literally, he's like, what, foo-foo? You want foo-foo? He wants some foo-foo. All right, hold on. All right, you're getting some food. Hold on. Hold on there, buddy boy. Get some foo-foo. Oh my God, you're a shark. Do you mind, son? Yeah, eat that little kibble. There you go. Psycho Mutt. Little Mutt is crazy. Little Mutt is a psycho boy. And he's going to town over on that shit. I swear, every time he eats something, he acts like he's like starving to death every time. It just goes to town. Like he's a vacuum cleaner when it comes to anything that is edible. It's nuts. Goofy little doggo. Let's get a little outro going and get the last little bit grounded up here and all that fun shenanigans. So stick around for at least another 10 minutes or so. Give or take. Or bought myself some burritos. Got some Tabasco sauce. So I'm just gonna have a little simple burrito night. Well, it's not even really burritos, they're chimichangas, but I guess they're pretty much the same damn thing. But gonna be so good, especially with Tabasco sauce. Just dousing those bad boys in Tabasco sauce is like the best thing ever. I mean, everything's better with Tabasco sauce, to be honest. Let's be for real here. I ain't a stereotypical little snowball white boy. I love me some spice. So sometimes, the spiciness, it's just necessary, especially when it comes to chimichanga. The spice is absolutely necessary. So I'm just gonna be slathering the bitches in some fucking delicious Tabasco. Like, if I'm not sweating when it comes to my spice, it ain't spicy enough. That should be the philosophy when it comes to the spice. I filled that bowl to the brim, and there's like a third left. You're a vacuum cleaner, bro. Oh my God, you almost ate all this food. Dude. Bruh. A vacuum cleaner, dude. I swear to God, I feed him enough. It's just when he eats it, I swear he overstuffs himself. It's almost gone, dude. He almost ate all of it. He's so close to eating all of it. I swear to God, dude. A little goblin, bro. Oh, I think he finally ended. He didn't eat all of it. There's like literally about a fifth of it left. There's like a little pile in the corner of the food bowl. And I filled that thing to the brim. You just have a high metabolism, do you, bro? Because you should be a fat chunk fuck. You should be chunky. But you're not a chunk. But you eat like a chunk. Yeah, you. You eat like a little chunk boy. You fat ass. Which is funny, because he's not even a fat ass. I mean, he just acts like one, because he just vacuum cleans every little bit of food. I'm surprised he didn't eat every little bit in that fucking food bowl, to be honest. Right? What? He does eat everything in sight. He's a little savage. He's a vacuum cleaner. You know what? I need to find out what the Russian word for vacuum is, because I think that might at least make like a little first name for him, because Zukov is technically a surname. I feel like actually, weirdly enough, I think we explored this once. It was like Negroza or some shit, but it wasn't vacuum though. That wasn't the word for it. It was like some other word, I think. I just forgot what. I just know I had this conversation once before. Or at least, the idea popped in my mind. Because I know, it was like, I know the Russian word was like Negroza, but I just forgot exactly what the fuck it meant. But now I kind of wonder what vacuum means in Russian. It would be kind of funny if it was just like Varkuma or some shit. It'd be kind of funny if it was just like, basically that, but like Urdma or some shit was like at the end of it. Vakumka or some shit. It'd be kind of funny if it was just that. But where are you going? There's nothing for you back there. Hey, buddy. Zukov, there's nothing for you back there. What are you doing? Get over here. There's literally nothing for you back there, bro. Okay, whatever. He's exploring. He's like, nah, I'm going over here. Go check it out. Can I just lay down over there? It's like, I don't know why, but it's comfortable over here. What a little weirdo. I can't help but love that little dog. He's a little shitty boy. His hair's need to get the fuck out of my damn bowl. Jesus. You need to stop shedding so much, bruh. Little shed boy. He wasn't shedding that bad lately, but now that I think it's been pretty warm and hot as fuck, the last 2 days, I think now he's been a little shed monster. And it's like, oh, dude. This is kind of the consequence of being a pet owner, is that, especially as a stunner, you get their hairs no matter what in your bowls. You can do anything and everything in your power to avoid that shit, but no matter what, every now and then, you're going to find hair in that bowl. And it's so annoying, dude. So annoying. And when you try to pick it out, sometimes it catches on fucking, a little bit of the bowl. When it comes to the way you load it up. And it takes, half of it, with the hair. And you have to reload the damn thing. That's the most annoying thing about it. Any owner that owns a pet will know that shit. Goofy little thing. Oh, and then now you decide not to go explore there no more because there's nothing there for you? Little goofy ball turd. But anyway. Oh, it's called good. Get myself my burritos, dousing that bitches up in some good old Tabasco and all that good shit. So, really? Okay, I guess my dog is now annoying me for more attention now. Good timing, I guess. No. Anyway, get myself some burritos. Gonna douse that in Tabasco sauce. All that good, delicious sauce. And I guess I have to feed my dog more, even though I'm honestly kind of surprised that he didn't knock over the food ball on top of that. Can you quit being a freak? Anyway, call it good. So, peace out and toodaloo. Toodaloo. That's the way to wrap it.